Sam on your radio dial.
It's Jim and Sam.
This is all coming together, guys.
Yes. Best of the year so far.
What a win, right?
Eric Roberts is here.
Yes.
With a name like that.
Oh, you know what? It's funny. Until you said that, I just realized it's the same last name as yours.
Roberts is a
I
very
literally
strong last name.
just realized that.
Roberts is a great last name. It's a very, very strong last name.
How are you, sir?
Yes.
Could not be better. Thanks for asking.
Good. Thanks for coming. Are you guys in town? Is there anything in particular you're doing here, or are you just kind of rolling through?
We're just passing through.
I wanted to ask you because Eric, you're here with your
Wife, come here.
I'm coming.
Okay, you're here with your wife. You guys met on a flight. Was it an MGM Grand, that airline they used to have? How was that airline? I'm kind of obsessed with that airline because it was like this real luxury airline that they used to fly.
The best.
It was the best.
The best. And you were always comfortable. You had your own little compartment, unless you're really lucky and you got an attractive redhead to sit across from you. That was kind of cool. Yeah.
What was so great about it? Because it was kind of a short-lived. It was kind of a short-lived airline.
Well, it was overpriced, So yeah, it didn't last. But that's where I'm at. I'm at the love of my life on that airline.
Were you sitting across from each other?
Yeah, we were.
Because that's the thing. I see that the seats were like facing each other like a train, and I'm like, I couldn't have flown like that. Like it would have drove me nuts. Somebody's legs bumping into my legs.
Well, it wasn't really like that. First of all, we tell all stories completely differently from each other.
Yeah,
but
that's how married couples are.
Well, I tell the truth.
Yeah.
Oh, right. We were actually not in a compartment that particular flight. We were next to each other.
That's right. We were next to each other.
But it doesn't
She's
bother
right.
you when you do it that way because it's a whole room. It's a table. It's like us sitting across from each other here. They were rooms. It was crazy. So nothing bumped. They also arranged it because some people can't fly backwards.
Right. Yeah, I would get sick. I'd vomit.
Yeah. So they also had a way of making it so you could be in that space and not be backwards. It was miraculous.
And where were you going at the time? What were you doing?
I was coming back from doing a movie with Travolta, and I was going back to L.A.
She was his manager at the time.
Oh, were you managing him?
I was part of the management company that was managing him. I was not just personally managing him. And Eric was flying out to California. So, yeah.
I've flown from Rome. I get to JFK. They hand me a script. Somebody's there waiting for me at the airport with a script. They put it in my hands. You have to read this on the plane. So when you land, you'll say you'll do it or not. So they'll have their money or not, blah, 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 blah. So I get on the plane with the script. And there's another woman with gorgeous red hair and a hot chick with a script. And I think, well, that's an actor, so I'll just read my script. Well, we closed them at the same time, so we kind of had to talk.
It was just that moment where it's like, all right, now neither one of us are doing anything.
Kinda.
Well, do you remember what the script was for?
My script, what was it for? It's something I did, yeah. I forget, though. Yeah.
Mine was Intersection, which was written by David Rayfield, who's
Her
my
father wrote it,
biological dad. And it was very different from the Intersection that got made. But I had little kids, so the only time I could read was on a plane. So I kind of resented in a way that I felt like not talking shop. So I was like, now I'm not going to get to read that. But then he just kind of grew on me. He got cuter and cuter as the ride went on.
Well, you knew who he was, though.
I did. I knew who he was.
Yeah, but my movies are not the kind of movies she'll ever go see.
Yeah.
She goes to romantic comedies. I don't make those.
No. Star 80 was not a rom-com. No. It was.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like I watched some of those older, and did you really after Star 80 have issues with people kind of avoiding you and kind of thinking that's how you really were? Because that was such you were great in it, but it was such a creepy guy.
It hurt my life. It hurt my career. It hurt everything. It just kind of an amusing, but a real example is. I would walk down 7th Avenue. I would see a woman a block away recognize me and cross the street.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. They ran from me in droves.
I've had the same thing happen. But I don't have a great role to blame it on. It's just me.
I mean, you got to take some pride in that, right? Like when people are taking your role so seriously, it means you've done a good job.
Well, when it first happens, you're like, yeah, that's how you think. But when it happens for like 10 years, you're like, wow, this is old. This is old.
Yeah, I've done other good jobs since then.
Really,
You could pay
exactly.
attention to some of those.
That's how I feel.
What was the you did? Was it the King of the Gypsies? That was
That was my launching pad.
that was the '78, I think, right?
1978. Good for you, man.
And the reason I'm asking you, I went on like a little bit of a Sterling Hayden's in that, right?
Oh, my hero, dude. I fell in love with that guy.
I went on a bit of what an interesting guy he was.
Oh, dude.
I went on like a bit of a Sterling Hayden interview. Deep dive, just watching him on a houseboat in France. Have you ever seen that interview? It's like 2 hours long. It's just Sterling Hayden in a houseboat, and he's drinking.
Like speaking of his boat, you know, he would take his young kids out every other weekend because he was divorced and he got the kids every other weekend. And he told his ex-wife one day, "Okay, I'm take the kids out. I'm about to go make a movie. So let me have this last weekend with him." And he took them to France for 15 years, and then he brought them home.
Wow.
So that's the kind of guy they were having divorce issues.
But and anyone who doesn't know Sterling Hayden's name, he was McCluskey in The Godfather. If anybody wants to make the reference of who he was.
He broke Al Pacino's jaw. Yeah, and
Yes.
And when I met him, I'd been shooting for 3 weeks all the day. I had my first night shoot with Sterling Hayden. I was very excited about it, and I'm early to work, and I get a knock on my dressing room door. "Mr. Hayden would like to talk to you." "Oh, cool, man." I get dressed. I go over there, knock on his door. "Come in." I walk in. "Have a seat, young man." And it reeks of hashish. And he's smoking a pipe. And I say, "Hey, dude, how you doing?" "Great." Do you get high?" I said, "I've been known to." "Want to get high?" I said, "No, I can't work when I'm stoned." "Well, I can." "So, what are you shooting tonight?" I said, "Scene 87. I know the number. What happens?" I thought, "Oh, no." Anyway, he was fantastic.
But he didn't even did he know his dialogue or no?
No, he didn't know his dialogue. He didn't even know what scene we were shooting. But after I told him, he goes, "Oh, that's kind of a pivotal scene, huh?" I said, "Yeah, it is." He goes, "Oh, how are you in improvisation, young man?" I said, "I'm okay." "Good, because it's what we're doing."
So all of a sudden you're improvising with Sterling Hayden.
All night long, my first night shoot. Yeah.
Was he stoned?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, he was plowed.
It's weird when you hear about guys that can work well, like fucked up. Like they said, Robert Shaw on the set of Jaws. They said some days you'd have great days, and other days, you know, he was a little. He was a little bit too tanked. And I know you were in Animal House.
Yeah.
Did you have scenes with Belushi, or did you interact with him?
It was like camp. We all interacted all the time with each other. And although there were concerns about how he was doing during that time, we were all in a hotel. He was in a house. He, whether he was actually tripping or whatever during work was not to be known, but he seemed 100% there and present and brilliant and totally fine when working, for sure. So, we never knew what to expect except that we knew it was going to be good.
You knew it was going to be funny.
Yeah, so funny.
Yeah,
I was going to say, it's kind of amazing the stuff that you keep like popping up in and in a very significant way. Like, I'm the biggest Righteous Gemstones fan.
My favorite job I ever had.
No.
Yeah, really, truly. No, when my wife reads me the description that they wanted to have an audition for, and I said, "That's my family. I have to audition for this for this show. Those are my peeps. I can do that." So we set it all up, and we shot it, and we sent it in, and he gave me the offer, and I went to work with him, and I had more fun than I've ever had acting in my whole life.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Like, how do you wrap your head around that environment where it's like the acting is so good, and in order for the comedy to be taken seriously, you have to take the scene seriously and allow the comedy to kind of play out.
Well, my wife, who's also my coach, this redhead, she has a great line about that, about comedy.
Well, a couple. Comedy is dead serious,
And
then also
absurd
the thing is to be intense in absurd circumstances. and that's what works, and that's totally what he did with Junior, including like remember when Danny and the gang were slingshotting him and everything. It was really dangerous, right? Yeah. And Eric's like, what the actual fuck, right? But I mean, you kind of felt sorry for him, but it was hilarious. But he just went with the whole completely Junior really meant it.
But it was my favorite job I've ever had, because of the character, of the location, of the writers, of all the actors around me. I mean, God, John. I mean, all those actors were so much fun to know, let alone work with, and it was like Christmas Day every day going to work. It really was.
Comedy being dead serious. It's great. Like Leslie Nielsen, Peter Graves in Airplane. Like just everything's absurd, and yet you're playing it straight down, and that's what's so funny about it.
Yeah, totally. Well, you guys had Bill Burr on, right?
Many times, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I had a role in A Moral Compass, and which was his show, and I had auditioned, and then COVID came. I auditioned for a whole other role, and then like 3 years later or something, I get a call from my agent. She's like, "There's an offer. It's a completely different role than you read for, but the reason they want you is you were the only one in auditioning for this comedy who played it straight." And that's what they want. So in this, it's my mother dying, and so I was just sobbing everything. And then you watch it, and it's hilarious
Because you played it straight.
He's playing it straight.
Yeah, I think they.
When you go,
okay.
Well, I was going to ask, when you're going on to a series like that as well, the other thing that I would think is a little bit, I don't know if intimidating is the right word, but to go into something that is established not only with the people that are making the show, but also like the fan base and everything.
I'm gonna tell you a little story that my wife's gonna yell at me later for, but there were two directors, and I could hear them, giving each other notes to the writers, to each other in like Video Village. And my first night there, I have a scene where my character's introduced, and I kind of brought out, just kind of a harmless kind of a country guy at first, but he becomes an a-hole. But, just kind of a harmless country guy. And I could hear one of the directors saying, "He's wrong. He's not doing it right, man. That's not the character." And he was having a fit about me. And he never quite got comfortable with me playing that part. So I had everybody loving me but one guy, and they're all really close, and they all really respect each other, and they listen to each other. So I was never really one of the guys, and it always made me feel a little bit left out. But the group was so monumental that just to be near them was worth the price of admission.
How is it when you're hearing that? Like I'm so freaked out even attempting to act. How does that drive you crazy when you hear that? Are you getting frustrated, or do you have more faith in what you're doing?
If you'd read the kind of reviews that have been said about me in my career, nothing would bother you.
Oh, really? do you read bad ones? Because it's hard not to.
Here's what I do. In my first movie, King of the Gypsies, everybody was saying I was next Marlon Brando. God, James Dean reincarnate. Oh my God, Monty Clift galore. All these kind of things, and I kind of went to my head. And then I get one that says he's a bad imitation of Richard Gere, and I went, wow. Well. And then I said to my manager, "Look at this one. Wow." He goes, "Well, if you're going to believe that, you have to believe that. You believe that, you have to believe that. You have to believe them all." That's just how that works. So I never read another review. I asked my wife, and that was 1978. I've never read another review. But I asked her, "Are they good or are they bad?" Some are good, some are not, blah, blah, blah. And we talk about it. And that's how we do it now.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit. It's hard not to, but it just becomes this addicting. It's like you get addicted to the feeling bad about it and to reading negative stuff. It's really hard not to do. Did you ever meet Brando?
Yeah, but that's a whole story into itself that I can't tell on the air.
Oh, no. Okay. Let's just say this. Was it a good story or a bad story?
It was a good story.
Oh, okay. I'm going to say what happened. This is my guess. You had a threesome with Brando.
That would be more normal.
That would be my guess. And hopefully Coppola was the other one, because that would be phenomenal.
Wow.
That is a good fantasy, but
oh yeah, yeah, that's nice.
How is acting in music videos? Because I feel like you're one of the few. You've done iconic film work, you've done iconic television work, but when you go through, you play. It's always the villain, of course, but when you go through the villain in music videos, like Ja Rule, Akon, Mariah Carey.
And
These
they-
are also, I'm sure
Rihanna.
I'm sure there's
Killers,
people
Rihanna.
And they've all
Yeah.
gone number one on the
And-
the videos have all gone number one. Well, what happened was the Killers, called me. Will you come to our video? And like me being me, I'm like, I don't do videos, sorry guy. And then all the kids going, what is wrong with you? You got to call them back. Call them back. No, call them back. So I did. I called them back. Can I be in your video? I'm sorry, I was wrong. and they said, yeah, we love you. So I showed up, and it went number one. So then everybody started calling me, and then all the videos I was in all went number one. So I became video magic. Who knew? And I got a whole new audience. All these kids. Now I go into 7-Eleven. There he is, Mom. Look, Mom. And I got all these little kids who know who I am because they never went to my movies.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if that was odd that when you have this like amazing career and then somebody comes up to you and goes, "Oh yeah, I know you from the Killers video."
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's fun. And they're 8.
Yeah.
8 years old. Yeah.
But is there any difference in that acting than in anything else? Do they shoot? Because I've never been on a video shoot. Do they? Is a music video a different thing than shooting a show or a film, or is it kind of the same process?
Well, it is for me because I never know what we're doing. I just say, "Oh, what do I do?" And they say, "Stand there." Okay, thank you. That's kind of how
It's so different. It's really like when he did Mr. Brightside, it was Sophie Mueller. She's incredible. They're just kind of visceral images. But we were almost wrapped for the day, and Eric, his mic's still on, and he pulls me aside. He goes, "What is this about? And what am I playing?" I'm like, "You already did it."
listening to me.
He said, "And why am I eating an apple?" And he said, "That other guy is the star." He was talking about Brandon, the lead singer of the Killers. I said, "I think you're a pimp, but it doesn't matter because this is just kind of goes into your subconscious." But one of the videos he did, he wasn't even there. I mean, he was on a different location. We had to green screen. It is a long story, but they put them together. Also, they're very last minute most of the time.
The videos.
Yeah, they'll call you that morning and say, "Hey, could Eric be available?" It's kind of like that vibe to do this. And you're like, "Sure, when?" I'll grab his schedule. They're like,
In a half hour?
At 3?
Yeah.
You're like, "What? He's in Europe." You're like, "Oh, can we work it out somehow?" Well, I mean, can I give you a suggestion for a substitute? No, it has to be him because it's a sequel to the other one. And it's only him and Brandon in it this time. I'm like, what were you going to do?
Right. If he
Right?
said no or didn't want to do it or wasn't available.
Or was gone like he was. But we always figure it out.
She always, it's always a happy story if you go through her.
Yeah, that is. No, you'll have like a more negative spin on it or a more
Practical.
No,
He'll have a
practical.
more-
I'm
yeah.
the guy who goes, "I'm out of town. Sorry, see you later." And she's, no, we can work this out. And she works it out. And I'm the guy who goes, "I'm not home. Bye."
When you did you have been in so many iconic things that you did the Dark Knight, which when you guys are doing that. And you're watching what Heath Ledger is doing, but like with this character that no one had gone as dark as he did. What were you? Did you have any idea when you were watching it what you were seeing, or do you not necessarily feel that on a set when you're in the middle of it?
Well, we shot all the Chicago stuff in Chicago. And it was like just making a movie. Okay, here we go. They were supposed to go to Pinewood, but that was a lie. We're going to the old Zeppelin hangar 30 miles north of London that was 3 football fields wide, 3 stories tall. And you walk in those doors, and it's Gotham City. And if you're a movie geek, which I am, you're in heaven, dude. It's so cool. Me and Gary Oldman had so much fun. We just go walk around, play act. I mean, it was so much fun. It was a movie geek's fantasy come true. And Chris Nolan is all the things you're supposed to be as a director. He's the boss. It's a fascist system. You have that guy and everybody else. And that's how he runs the show. And he makes great movies.
But in terms of
And
what
you like direct. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. You go ahead.
Well, in terms of what you ask about whether you're seeing this magnificence put together, I think that you do, but you're kind of in shock because a minute ago the person was just the person. But I think with Eric's type of work, which is also there's kind of no boundaries. I think that it was more organic for him to see Heath than for some of the actors who'd done more kind of standard, great work, but more standard type of work.
Also, what I heard, the rumors about Heath where he's so into the apartment, you can't go near him, all this stuff, but that was not true. He was like me. He was at work, and he was funny. He was charming. In fact, we had this big scene where he's got a long monologue with all the bad guys.
Yeah.
And where he puts a pencil through somebody's hand. That scene. And and he walks out. We haven't had a run through yet. We're all like gathering. We all have our coffee. We all sit down. And Nolan says, "All right, run through rehearsal, action." And he starts doing his monologue, and he gets about halfway through it, and he stops, and he turns towards us, and he goes, "How am I doing?" He was just so likable and approachable and sweet and talented.
And not dark like the character. Totally
Not
the
at all.
opposite. Yeah.
Dude, he was a lovely human being. Yeah, it was a big loss.
When you hear about guys that are, like you said, are like that, like, because there are actors that are very much into. Is it difficult to deal with? Or I'm sure after all these years you've gotten used to it. But somebody who's like a method actor who won't. Have you worked with guys that won't come out of character and you're trying to talk to them at craft services?
Quite frankly, you can't let that bother you. That is their process, and you have to respect it, and you have to allow it. And I mean, as long as they don't trample over your performance, they can do whatever they want. And if they have an approach that's cliche these days, oh, I have to feel it. Okay, you got to feel it. You just let them feel it, because that's what they have to do. And especially young actors, they're still finding their technique, so you have to let them. And sometimes it's really stupid, but you don't say that.
Yeah.
This is a geeky inside question that you may not even remember, but it's about the story you just told about Heath. I'm so curious now because I'm visualizing it. When he asked, "How am I doing?" did he do it as Heath or the Joker? Like what voice?
As Heath. How am I doing?
As Heath.
Yeah.
Interesting.
He was being sweet, and he obviously went up on a line and was going to take a break. How am I doing? I mean, he was just likable. What I just described is what I felt from him. It was just likable.
That's such a risk to play, because the Joker everybody kind of knows, and to walk out like, what if it doesn't work? Like they said in Boogie Nights, Burt Reynolds started doing, I think, with it in Irish or a British accent.
Irish, I think.
It was in Irish, I think, yeah, and the director hated it, and he's like, someone's got to tell Burt Reynolds, could you drop the accent? And I'm sure you've seen that before, too.
Oh, not only have I seen that. I made a movie once about an airplane pilot who crashes a plane with a beauty pageant on board. Okay, that's your setup. Okay, so I thought it'd be very funny to play him very French. He's a French pilot. And so I played the whole thing very French. And then I saw a screening of it and went, no, I have to dub that into American accent again. It was so bad. And the director allowed me to do that. And I saved it because you could not tell. Thank God.
Oh, wow. Because
and my wife warned me the whole time. My wife goes, Eric, you're going to regret this. No, I'm having so much fun. This is going to be funny. You're going to love it. I said, Eric, I'm telling you, you're not going to like it.
But is that why you love someone like Christopher Nolan? Because when you've got somebody that is the caliber of that talent, but also is the guy in charge, he can tell you, knock it off. What are you doing?
We're born followers. a really good actor is a really good follower, and a really good director is a really good leader, and he takes us with him. Yeah.
Would you have been offended if he asked you not to, or how would that have affected you if after the first couple takes he's like, could you?
If Brian had asked you, the director.
Yeah.
You know what? I give every director I've ever worked for the full respect of my parent. You tell me what to do and I get it done. And if he says no accent, I go, oh, come on, maybe once.
Yeah.
But then I go, okay, and I smile and I go, God, you tell my accent was.
but it doesn't bother you to the point where you can't function on the set.
It is what it is. It's one movie. I make many, many, many movies.
You really do. Your IMDb is very, very impressive.
I love what I do. Like I love my wife all day, every day. I have so much fun, dude.
What's the most?
You'll work with you've done everything. This is what because I love. Like, as much as I love, the Christopher Nolan movies, the Paul Thomas Anderson movies, I also love all these B movies that were clearly shot in a day, and we can run through them.
Let me tell you about a G movie. My wife, I come home from a big, long, expensive shoot, and you're making lots of money. I'm gonna take some time off. No, you're not, honey. You have to make this film in Iowa. Well, who's shooting in Iowa? A film student, but he needs you for financing. Okay. And I used to resent it. I said, why is she doing this to me? But then I realized it's so much fun to make a guy's life for a whole month of his life to show, Eric's here, I got a movie. and and so I learned to love it, and I learned to
awesome.
love her even more for it. Yeah.
And those films you were doing, I read in an interview with you. You said some of the other offers weren't coming in, but you're such a great actor. I don't know, were they not because they didn't think that you were still wanting to do it, or what was the reasoning behind that you think?
I don't know what interview you read, but they offer me everything every day.
Oh,
Well, he means you're talking about the kind of more top drawerish type
yeah,
stuff.
I think you said the big offers. Oh, that was the quote. Yeah.
You know, it's interesting because I've also worked on I'm an actress, but I've also worked on the other side
Yeah.
because I've been a casting director and a lot of other things. But nowadays, they want to see, well, I guess they always have, the money walking in. They're casting according to followers. And
Right.
they're not kidding around, and they're making mistakes because of it often, because it's not the same it's not the same demographic at all. But it's you know, that being current now means kind of being an influencer in a way, you know. So
Right.
Eric, when Mickey Rourke did a shout out for Eric at the Spirit Awards, that moved the needle. You know, his daughter's an influencer. That probably has
Right.
given him more value than this million-year career with all the nominations and stuff. But yeah, there's a lot of factors that go into it. It's very scientific and political, and you know, it's not what we think. You audition, you do well, or whatever.
It's harder now to achieve what I got lucky enough to get than it's ever been before.
Right, and you. I mean, I'm sure you know this, but you are a legend. I mean, and that's, but I mean, it's like you are. I mean, you've been associated with so many people. Never do, and the people that think they are assholes who are wrong. but you genuinely are. Did you turn down 9.5 weeks?
Yeah.
I had just made Star 80.
Right.
And then I go make Pope, and Star 80 was in the can for a long time. And I knew it was going to blow everybody's mind. I knew what a film it was. I knew Bob Fosse. I knew the story. I knew what I did. I knew what Meryl did. I knew we had a movie. And so I was very confident. So when they offered me 9.5 weeks, I had just abused a woman on screen in Star 80. So I didn't want to abuse another woman on screen in 9.5 weeks. So I said, I really can't play it, but I'm working with this guy who's really good. And they offered it to Mickey. And made him a French superstar.
That was a huge movie in France.
Huge.
Yeah, but you're big in Russia.
I was number one in Russia up till I made a mistake. I made 44 movies in Russia. I was Elvis Presley in Russia. They had to give me guards because everybody rips my clothes off. It's like wild, dude. But anyway,
And then you made a statement
oh yeah,
in Keaton's music
44
video.
movies. I love Russia. I love Russians. I love working there. I love Russian actors. They're so good, man. So anyway, I'm doing an interview. So, Mr. Roberts, what do you think about the war in Ukraine? Well, I stand with Ukraine. That day, they canceled my visa to Russia.
Wow.
Wow.
He watches TV.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah, canceled.
That was it.
And he was a fan, dude. Yeah, but he canceled my visa.
Do you think that's something that's salvageable, or that'd be a no?
We're talking about Vladimir Putin. No, I don't think so.
Have you met him or no?
No,
Almost.
no, but he like sends for me. He sends cars for me.
Not anymore.
But I'm working. You know,
Not anymore.
I like can't leave the set. Please come meet with President Putin. I said, but I'm working. I can't leave a set. Okay, and so. The next day, a car shows up. Come now! I can't. I'm on set. So that's happened several times.
But if you had left in Russia to go meet Putin, wouldn't the set have understood? Like,
Yeah.
Putin wants to see him. Wouldn't they have kind of let you go?
I think if Eric Roberts goes to see Putin, it's going to be all over the internet, and I don't know how I feel about that.
Okay, so you have
Makes sense.
Yeah. You got to think too of the bigger picture sometimes, and not just a cool meeting in the moment.
Right.
Right.
Wow,
I wanted
that's
to
what I
ask
have
you
for-
about. Yeah, I wanted to ask you about another filmmaker that we just brought up. What's Paul Thomas Anderson like to work with?
He's an example of that job, in that
Yeah.
he also is very removed. It's like it's him and everybody else. Only he's in everybody else's face though. He's in every department. He's in all the stuff, and he directs like this.
Wow.
He's right
up
in your
close.
face, and he tells you just what he wants and how he wants it. And okay, now go and go. and it's like an adventure. It's like a quiet, secret adventure working for him.
Some guys let you kind of do what you want with a little bit of breathing room, right? Like they said, Aaron Sorkin is very, very much into like say exactly what I wrote.
He's a writer.
Yeah, and some guys are a little bit freer in what they let you do, right? They give you a little bit more room. Do you have a preference as to how to? Would you prefer to do it exactly as they want, or have some room?
It's like when they say, "Do you like redheads or blondes?" They're women. I like women.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's not an issue. But so no, I like it all. And if a guy has a technique, a director, then I have to follow his technique. I have to follow how he is making his movie. It's his baby, and that's how I act with my bosses.
And you obviously in the Pope of Greenwich Village, it's that's one of the most iconic lines. Like it's like Pacino had like "You're out of order." Like there's these weird lines that just somehow rise above everything else and become the thing that.
What's my line?
They took my thumb. Yeah.
Checking.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But I mean, that's such an iconic and amazing moment. Does it ever bother you that that's the one part of the film that people reference?
No, why would that bother me? That was so hard to. That was a 2-page monologue with like Mickey's got like 2 lines in there, and I've got 2 pages of talking, and it was the hardest monologue I've ever learned because each like paragraph was a different beat, a different place. Because he was on drugs, he was hurt, he was all this stuff, and so it was the hardest job in a monologue I've ever had before was that speech.
And you played it different than they originally wanted it. Like, right? Didn't they? Would they ask you to resign from? Which is crazy to think of that film without you.
Well, they didn't, but well, I got that script and that book in January of that year, and we're going to start September 7th. Was going to be our first shooting day. Okay, so they say pick a part, Paulie or Charlie. And I got the book, I got the script. I'm up in Hartford doing Glass Menagerie because Tennessee Williams had just died. So everybody's doing Tennessee Williams. Anyway, so I read the book, I read the script, I read the book again, I read the script again, and I decided I'm going to play Paulie. So I call the producers, I'm playing Paulie. Well, we wanted you to pick Charlie. I said, why? I said, because he wears suits, he's handsome, he's a leading man. That's how we look at you. We don't look at you as a tough thug. I said, oh yeah, by the way, Paulie's written as a tough thug, but I'm not going to play him that way. Well, how are you going to play him? I'm going to play him like a mama's boy who wants to be a tough thug. And they go, okay, that's a take. Okay, whatever you want to do because we're hiring you because you're a great actor. So go. So, okay, great. That's January. So by August, I had lost 30 pounds and I permed my hair and I knew my dialogue. Ready to go. Here we go. And I showed up. We had 5 days of rehearsal, and the then director, after the 3rd day of rehearsal, asked me to stay after, and he said, why are you so skinny? As if I have a drug problem. I said, because I want to be a walking spaz attack. He says, why do you perm your hair? I said, same thing, walking spaz attack. Takes a long pause, and he goes, what is a fucking spaz attack? I said, it's a John Belushi, only skinny. He goes, this guy's a tough guy. He's a thug. Blah, 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 blah. I said, no. That's not what I'm playing. Well, I can see that. What are you playing? I said, well, this is blah, blah, blah. And I explained it to him. No, man, we disagree. I want you to resign. I said, okay, well, let me think about it. I was going nowhere. Okay, but let me think about it. I mean, I own this part. 8 months I've been living with this part. So,
Yeah.
So I said, well, let me think about it. But I wasn't. And I went up to Mickey's room and knocked on his door and told Mickey, let me call the producers. And they fired that director. And they brought in Stuart Rosenberg, who was a great director. Amityville Horror, Cool Hand Luke, Pope.
Oh, yeah.
Great director. Great guy, too.
It is crazy how people read things so wrong. Like to watch, because I can't picture that movie without you. I mean, it's like,
thank you.
But you know what I mean. The way you did it was so great. But to think that somebody saw that and went like, "Oh, we got to get rid of this guy," it is crazy that somebody got it so wrong.
Well, he did, but he went on to direct in Civil War movies for Ted Turner.
But I think that performance is a good example of that fringe work that we were talking about with Heath and a handful of other actors and Eric, because it wasn't on the page. Even besides the radical change, it just wasn't on the page. It completely came out of his imagination, and you wouldn't think of it. And it was very extreme. He laid himself out there to be hated as much as loved, But now when he does cameos, except for his "Stalked by My Doctor" character, which is the #1 request, super creepy, of like moms and their daughters or dads and their 14-year-old daughters. "We love you as Dr. Beck. Can you do a birthday message for my 14-year-old as Dr. Beck?" Anyway, but Charlie, they took my thumb is the thing. But you get to a point if you've done something like that, like us with Animal House. Do you mind if we dance with your dates? And Eric was certainly with that line and a couple others. You don't even think of it as you anymore. Don't you go through that sometimes?
It's
where
not me, yeah,
it's almost like he's one of the people asking somebody to do the line. It's because that just happens. That I'm so curious to know what of the, you call them B movies. It's really sweet. The kind of Z- movies that you're even aware of, much less that you like, because I love them, but
I go through. I love stumbling on these movies. I went through, especially during the pandemic. I went through this phase of like finding these movies that would otherwise be forgotten. Right, that like somebody, because that's what I love about them. That somebody, like you just said earlier, that you make somebody's life for a period of time by doing this thing. But like this is a movie that potentially somebody was like, yeah, this is my dream. This is everything I've ever wanted. And nobody's ever even seen it. And some small company put it out on DVD or Blu-ray, and I've been able to find it. And I don't know. I just think I think that the fact that can exist at the same time where some of these huge Hollywood blockbusters can exist, and somebody like you can be that through line. Where it's like, no, this is all the same thing. It's just that maybe I'm romanticizing it, but I think it's so cool.
Do you rescue animals? Because it's very similar. We do.
He's a big Christy Nome fan. He doesn't.
Hopefully nobody is a big Christy Nome fan.
I couldn't imagine.
What a thought.
That poor woman.
No, don't even say that. Out of context, I could say.
To be that much of a loser and to make yourself look worse than you are.
She should have lunch with Putin.
Wow, she should have lunch with Vladimir. Yeah.
Like I get very excited, not just because of the stuff. We talk about Christopher Nolan, we talk about Paul Thomas Anderson, but you've also done, I believe, 2 movies with one of my favorite performers of all time, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Love that guy. We're like tight buddies. He's a great.
Is that right?
He's a great human being, and his wife is the sweetest woman you've ever met besides mine.
Yeah. I've met his wife. She's amazing.
Isn't she cool? Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I love him to death, and he's also normal. He's sweet. He's not at all like that crazy image of his. He's not that guy. He's the sweetest, nicest person.
When you work with a guy like that who's not an actor, but he's a really competent person.
Yeah.
Like he's a comfortable public person. He's great at communicating. He's not shy. Do guys like that kind of just take your lead in a scene, or how does something like that work with a guy who's very noteworthy but is not an actor?
He was very humble. He was very sweet. If you ever have a suggestion, please give it to me. He's like that. He's lovely.
But Eric did take his lean. What I keep thinking of is that photograph of you guys. When it came to jumping off a cliff into some sewage called water.
Oh, yeah.
Eric had to take Stone Cold's lead because they're holding hands. And obviously Stone Cold was like, you're going to survive. I'll see to it. Come on. It wasn't Eric being like, come on, Stone Cold.
The first shot of that movie, Expendables, was going to be me and Stone Cold Steve Austin. We're going to jump into a bay and swim across the bay. Okay, so arrive on location. We can't. It's early in the morning. Okay, and it's kind of dark, but suddenly here comes the sun, and we look at the bay, and the bay is a sewer. And it's a sewer for those 2 towns up there, and it's just floating dung. It's really gross. And Steve Austin says to Eric Roberts, hey, Eric, look at the shit. And I say, yeah, it's bad. And he goes, that's the shot right there. And he goes, are you getting in? I said, I really don't want to. Are you getting in? He goes, if Sly says to, I'm not saying no. So we're standing there all by ourselves having this conversation. And then Sly comes up, hey, you guys, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. And we're like, yeah. Look at the water, Sly. Sly goes, yeah, it's a fucking sewer. Anyway, and so Sly talks about what he wants in the shot, how far we have to swim, which is about a quarter of a mile in the sewage. Yeah. And he says, so blah, blah. And so we both look at each other. We try to, Sly, wait, come back. Look at the, yeah, I saw it. Okay, so we're doing this. Okay, so me and Stone Cold, okay, here we go. And we swam in shit for a quarter mile.
Wow. How many takes?
2.
All right, not bad.
Yeah, it was awful.
It was as bad as I think it was.
It was awful, dude.
Did you ingest any of it by mistake? You have to be
Of
very
course
careful.
I did. It was awful. No, that was the single grossest thing I've ever experienced, and you can't really write about it in a book because it doesn't translate, you know.
Yeah.
But so I left it out of the book.
By the way, when is the book coming out? I know you're not promoting it yet because it's not ready, but when?
I'm still writing it.
Are you still working on
September
it?
17th.
Oh, okay. So you have plenty of time to finish it up.
Well,
and-
Yeah.
that's when they think I'll be finished.
Is it in the process of it, now that you're doing it, is it hard to go, is there stuff that you're going back over and you're like, fuck, that's kind of hard to talk about?
Here's the hard part about a book. It's a real hard part, especially when you read. I read everything, and I read all the biographies everybody's ever written, blah, blah, blah. I read it. To tell the truth is hard because you don't want to.
Especially if the people are still alive. I mean, it'd be really different if Eric waited till he was like 300 years old,
Right.
and checked back, and so we're tempted to call it an unauthorized autobiography, just because. Yeah, the writer's remorse is major. It's
Yeah.
You get it down on paper, and 1 second later, you're like, "Who wrote that sentence?" It's like,
No, but you have to tell the truth.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
and when you come to a thing that, oh yeah, that was so uncomfortable, maybe I'll tell it like this. But you can't do that.
Have you acted with your sister or your daughter? Have you done stuff with them or no?
I got my sister her first movie for her Screen Actors Guild card, and that was the first and last time we acted together. And she played my baby sister in a very bad movie.
Really? Yeah. And is it one of those? I think when I think about you guys, I think of kind of like when Jane Fonda and Henry Fonda did on Golden Pond. I
Yeah.
think
We're
that,
not that old yet.
but I think that was like their first time actually being in a film together. So I'm just wondering, is that something you would want to do, or if it happens, it happens. You don't care either way.
I love my sister's work. I love my sister as an actress, and I love her as a human being. And I'm ready to go anytime she finds the right project.
If something happens, yeah.
And the same goes for my daughter. You know, my daughter has become an accomplished actor. I'm so proud of her. I can't see straight, and I'm just waiting for her to call me and say, "Dad, will you go play my dad?" and something. Yeah.
If the right thing comes along.
So we'll see.
Do you think you'd be too? Is it, with your daughter, you think you'd be? Like, is it hard to separate being the dad and then being in the scene with somebody?
I don't know because I haven't worked with her yet, so I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if that would be difficult. Is there anybody you want to work with that you have tried to work with that you haven't been able to yet?
Probably Gary Oldman, because we're always crossing paths, and we have been on the same set together, but not in the same scenes, and we like each other. And I'm so entertained by him as a human, as an actor, as a story. I just love the guy, and so I would want. But my favorite actor I ever worked with is my wife. And there's a movie called Love Is a Gun. Love that title, Love Is a Gun. And she's remarkable in this movie that I read, and it was being produced by an ex-boyfriend of hers, and so he offers me this part. I said, "Yeah, girl, I love the movie, but the girlfriend in the movie, I want it to be Eliza." And he says, "No, it's not going to happen." I said, "Okay, well, call me when it can," and he did.
Now,
Kelly
was
Preston's
it
in it, too.
because you were the ex that was hard for him, or?
The real reason, and there's a little more to it that I think Eric doesn't maybe remember. He was subsequently married, and his wife was not comfortable with me doing a movie with him. She allowed for Eric to do a movie with him because she thought Eric was brilliant, but she kind of wanted not for that whole relationship because we'd known each other since we were 13 years old, that guy and I. But Eric then, all he agreed to was that I could audition. And then after the audition. Eric had, of course, made it a deal breaker, but the audition is supposedly how I got that part. I don't know. But he did write a beautiful note, and actually so did his wife, saying, "You were the beautiful surprise in our film." So
Oh,
that-
nice.
It all
So
worked
good.
out.
But watch this movie, Love is a Gun. And I also
With Kelly Preston.
play a character I've never played before. He's not mean. He's a fuck up. He's not
Yeah.
Wait, Kelly Preston.
John's wife.
I was just gonna say. So, did you date John?
I got a story for you,
No.
hot off the press. This is also in the book, though. I gave it away. I don't think I told you that I put this in the book. But John comes to visit Kelly on that set, and he's got Jet with him. And Jet was, I think, maybe 2 at the most. One. Yeah, he was a little bitty kid.
His son, yeah.
John shows up. And John loves Eliza. Hi, Eliza. Blah, I heard you. Blah, blah. And, hi, Eric. How do you do? Blah, blah. We hang out. Blah, blah. And then he says, oh, you won't believe I got this off for this crazy character again. God, but I'm a father now. I have Jet. I can't play these violent kind of crazy people. What are you talking about? Well, that guy, Quentin Tarantino, is offering me this part in this crazy movie. I'm like, John, you have to take it, she says to him. He says, no, I'm not going to. I have Jet now. I'm not playing those parts anymore. John, you take it. It's Quentin Tarantino. You don't turn him down. Do you hear me? And they had this little kind of spat. Only John doesn't spat, but they had this little kind of, you do this, John. And she made him do Pulp Fiction. I was there. I heard the conversation.
You convinced him to do Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm sure a lot of people said the same thing, but I think I had a few angles that may have worked. Plus, we were friends. So, but that's not the person who with the conflict and stuff. That's
Right.
yeah,
Oh,
was not-
okay.
Yes.
And by the way, maybe they didn't have the angle you did because you already knew him. And a lot of people, when somebody is
Yeah.
that famous, are afraid to tell them anything that might get them booted out of the circle.
So true.
Which has got to be the thing that's really hard about being on that level is that, like, when I'm sure there's people in your life who've been terrified to tell you things because they're so afraid of being pushed away that they want not giving you the advice they should give you.
I only found out anything about myself from other people through her because they all come to her. So she goes, oh, so-and-so thinks this. Really? I never knew that.
Yeah, and by the way, I'm always telling you the truth about that, and you
I
should
know.
really listen.
She does.
Because they're not going to say it. Because, people, either they don't care enough to invest by causing a possible, ripple, or else they just, usually, it's, like you said, they're just intimidated. They don't want to, make waves. And so you do it. You end up insulated. It's the Emperor's New Robes. You end up completely lost, maybe making the same mistake over and over and over because nobody tells you the truth.
Nobody talks to you.
Yeah, because they're scared of upsetting you and then you distancing from them.
Totally.
But there are people that just have bad bedside manner, too. I've dealt with those people. How was it? Terrible. All right, you could have rephrased that. And just, there's a way to say it. How are you with that? Like, are you good with someone telling you they don't like something, or is there a way to handle that with you, which is a gentler kind of presentation?
I don't care. I'm like way too old. I know way too much. I don't care. And in fact, what's a story that's in the back of my brain somewhere about somebody telling me you were so good, you were just like so and so or something, and I was like, oh, thank you very much. But
And you didn't, it was somebody where you're like, I hope not.
yeah, right.
Okay, I can't remember.
What are you gonna do? Everybody has an opinion, and especially in show business, it's a strong opinion. You
Yeah.
just have to let it go. Yeah.
And
Do you have a favorite? I mean, I don't even know if you're a reflective guy or you just kind of continuously move forward. But do you have a favorite era of your career?
I know this sounds a little melodramatic, but all my movies, even the ones that I make, I work like 18 hours a day for 3 days. It's like crazy. They're all my little babies, and some are closer to me than others. And some have words and they talk to me, and some don't. But they're all my little babies, and they all matter to me because why they matter to me is very simple. Every movie is somebody's infant, somebody's lovely child that they worship, they take care of, they dress, they change diapers of, they worship it. And when you know that, as I know it so well from all my movies, I know that there's somebody here who is a mother to this project, and they're invested. And when you meet them, you become them a little bit, or you because you just understand. And when you have a complete understanding of their feeling, they know it.
Right, because you know how important this is to them, and a lot of guys go in and take a smaller project, not as serious, but to this person, it's everything they've worked to do.
Right. And also, because I do all these movies, I get to play roles I would never get to play otherwise. So I get to have so much fun. And also, the wife is just nice, and she sends me places to be nice, and it's just fun to be. Hey, I'm nice. It's just fun. Yeah.
What's the most you've done in a day?
Well, I've done a couple of movies in a day.
More than a couple, lest I remind you,
But-
in good company.
But you have to understand that I'm not the star of these movies. I'm
Right.
just in them. I just appear in them. So I'm in and out.
Yeah, you just kind of go in and shoot a scene or two scenes,
Right.
And you're finished.
But I've also discovered we've got a whole new wave of wonderful women directors, and I'm finally meeting them, and they're great.
You had you were in a coma, I think, for 3 days, right? It was a 3 day. And
hours, yeah.
when you come out of that, is there anything different? Do you feel like something's happened, or do you not even like
Your
being asleep?
whole world is another world.
Really?
You're not the same guy. You're not in the same place. You don't have the same feelings. You don't understand things the same way. You're a completely different starting point.
He compares it to Regarding Henry. Remember that movie with
Yeah, who's in? Was that Harrison Ford?
Harrison Ford. Oh, he gives a performance of a lifetime, and it was kind of ignored, the movie. It's just phenomenal, and I went through exactly what he went through in that movie in real life.
Who taught you to tie your shoes? You did, Dad. I think that was from that film, right? Where he's
Yes.
relearning
God,
this
good
stuff.
for you,
Oh,
yeah.
it can make me cry just even because it's so delicate, so personal, and so easy to lose. Oh, it breaks your heart.
And it's funny. I hadn't read anything. I knew you had that happen, but I didn't know any of the results of it. So I was 3 days. I don't know if you're even aware of that when you come out. What makes you aware of it? Is it the way someone's looking at you? Is it reaching for a name, or is it?
No, it's like this. It's like if you picked up your hand, you should see 8 fingers and 2 thumbs, and suddenly you pick it up and you got this, and you go, oh, that's all I have to work with. Okay, I'll learn to work with it. But wow, that's a shame. That's how you feel about your brain. And then it slowly comes back a little bit at a time, like I had no short-term memory. And as an actor, I thought, ooh, I'm screwed. I can't. Oh, no. But it slowly came back, and you do exercises, and panic and adrenaline help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can be your friend, right?
Yeah, they can.
They say that a lot of it has to do with the first thing you want to do is know what happened. And since usually you don't have access to that, you get very absorbed in that obsession of, the last thing I remember was, and then people are telling you stuff that you experienced, only you are the one who didn't experience it. And so it'd be like, right? It'd be like, just now we know, like when we go to sleep, when we wake up, we were asleep. But like you can even see little kids react that way, where they're not quite understanding, well, how come it was night and now it's day? Where did I go?
Right.
But for an adult, so that was weird. He really wanted to know. People were telling him what happened, and he didn't. And also, his finger is all screwed up. He's like, "Why does my finger look like that?" It's like, "Well, you had pins in it, but you pulled them out." And and
I
you're like,
bit them out of my hand. Yeah.
"Yeah." So you're hearing stories about yourself that you didn't participate in.
And you have wild hallucinations. Like I had this experience that I thought was not a body experience, but I now understand it was an hallucination. And I was over my face, and I rise up till the bed is about the size of my thumbnail, and then I have a choice: I either go or I stay. And I decided to stay. Now I know it was an hallucination, but when I first woke up and remembered it, I'm like, wow, I had an out-of-body experience. I got to tell everybody, and I did. But then I realized that time went on. I studied it more and more in my own mind and realized it was an hallucination.
Did it feel like outer body, or did it feel like one of those things people say that when you're about to die, you see relatives? Or when you say go or stay, do you mean like in that way, like to?
No, it was a journey. It was not a life or death.
Oh, okay.
It was a journey. I can either go here, and that's there, or I go back to what I know. And I'm going to go back to what I know.
And when you come out of that, do you kind of feel like, yeah, there's some inconveniences, the fingers, but it's like you're still acting. Your life is still here.
No,
Everything's good.
You come out with panic. You come out when you finally have some understanding of like what's around. You're like, wow, okay, I'm here, I'm hurt, and I'm in a hospital, and I'm in Connecticut, and I have an evergreen Jeep that I wrecked, yeah, and you're putting all the stuff together, but then you're like missing stuff, like you forget a cousin completely for months. And then, oh yeah, him. Oh right.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Wow, for months. It like lingers. You think, okay, I think I'm better, and then boom.
And
Wow.
and it goes on for a long time, and it's a long healing process. I couldn't even fake it well for 9 months. Then I could fake it for about 2 years, and then I had enough back. I was okay.
Yeah, so in hindsight, like, are you kind of like as time has gone on, you look back and go, "Well, hey, I came out of this okay. Like, I'm all right. Life is good. You're working.
Well,
you can do whatever you want to do."
I would rather have not had to come out of it.
Yeah, of course.
Because it was too hard to, and even now it's like, oh God, I'm too old for this. And but I found my dream come true, and it sounds so overwrought when you say it like that, but she's my world, and she's smarter than me, she's nicer than me, she's every bit as talented or more than I am as an actor, which you'll see if you see this movie, and she's just, love is a gun, and I've been here for 31 years, dude. Who would have ever thought that?
Yeah, that's a real life. It's a life together. Yeah. And the things you just said about her, I want my wife to say about me. I was very
sure she does.
And so what are you working on right now? I know we've had you for a while. I appreciate you staying for as long as you have. Are you, besides the book, are you shooting right now? Are you in the middle of the project?
It turns to me. See, this is the part that never recovered after the accident. What am I doing?
Here's what's funny. No, I'm doing so much stuff
that
I turned to her to explain it, because if I started to explain it, I'll spend out of order and wrong. So I turned to her.
Well, we came here from location. Where on Long Island we do a lot of movies with Candace Cain. This is a movie called Wedding Bell, Belle, after a character named Belle.
And we play a middle-aged couple getting married for the first time.
And we got married, and so that's what we've been doing for the last few days. And then Eric is off to Budapest to sign autographs, and then he's going to Cannes.
Oh.
For a film called Skeleton Coast, which he shot in Africa with some wonderful, wonderful people. They're just debuting the trailer. But there was a time when he wasn't going to go to Cannes for the debut of a trailer of a very indie movie. But he's already in Budapest. We kind of were able to squeeze it in. Dr. Rico Simonini, who's a brilliant physician and also an actor and filmmaker, has never been to Cannes, though he's been in a lot of films that have gone to Cannes. So instead of me going, we're sending Rico. So this is all, it's like a playground.
Yeah. They're flying you everywhere. It's got to be fun just to get on a plane and go somewhere. Crazy. You get great accommodations, a great flight.
It's nuts.
It's nice.
I love being famous like I love her. I like it a lot, okay? Except in airports and airplanes, because everybody has a phone, and they're all going to use it, and they all want 5 minutes. And there's a lot of people who line up for it. It's the only place I like being famous. I love being famous. It's so much fun. Except airports, airplanes.
Yeah.
Not fun. Not fun.
I'm trying to think if there was one more thing I had. Yeah. Was there anything you had said? There was one more question that's been bugging me, and I can't. I just lost it.
It's okay. You'll come back.
I know.
Yeah. My Maybe you just got out of a coma.
It's like being in a blackout, I'm guessing. Like when you get drunk and you're in a blackout and everybody's looking at you.
It is like that a lot, because you only remember the sort of. You don't remember. You sort of, yeah, it was a cab.
Right, the associations.
Yeah, little pieces,
exactly.
Or like a brownout, where there's half of it you remember.
A brownout. That's a great description. That's how it feels.
But also with all the travel, with his brain and all the travel, you have no idea how many times he's taken a hotel key and gone to room 453 or whatever,
yes.
Right? And then he'll call me like, God damn it, I hate this hotel. This isn't working. I'll be like, because either you're in the wrong hotel or you're on the 11th floor this time, Eric. That was a year ago.
This has happened like several times. It's like not unusual.
Every time.
I know what I want to ask you about. before we wrap up, and I appreciate you coming very much, is the fact that acting got you over stuttering, which I think is amazing. And
Me too.
when you would stutter, was it a tension thing that caused that, or like a?
I don't know. You know, it could be a lot of things, but whatever it was with me, I could not speak. I'd be in grammar school, and I'd go around the room, everybody reads, and and I would count the people, count the paragraphs, I'd find mine, I'd learn it. And if I learned it, I was cool. But if somebody effed up and they got skipped, I didn't know my paragraph. And I would stutter my ass off, and the whole class would laugh. And it was really an emotional journey to go to school and to talk funny. And it was really hard. And when I became an actor, I decided, like, I'd done probably about a dozen plays by the time I was 7, and because I remember being 7 years old, and this a full-length mirror that my mother used, and I walked up to it and went, "I'm gonna be an actor," and I said that to myself just like that. I'm gonna be an actor, and I became an actor that day. I was gonna always be an actor, and
Did it help with the stuttering?
Well, the confidence of like knowing what you're gonna say is practice for like real talking. And so I learned to not stutter.
Well, yeah, it's amazing.
I still stutter, but it's not embarrassing.
Right, yeah, everybody trips on a word sometimes. I mean, but it's like, I mean, I would never have known it if I didn't read that.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Well, Eric and Eliza, thank you. I mean, I'm so happy we had you in, and you are a legend, whether you know you are or not. I'm hoping you know that. But
I love hearing it, and
it's
you
true.
know, you can't feel like a legend. It's because you feel kind of dead.
Yeah, there's legends that like after someone dies, but then there's also people who are still working,
Yeah.
and you've done so many iconic.
Well, who I would call a legend would be Meryl Streep. So I'm not Meryl Streep. So that's how I feel.
But she's
about
also alive, so there.
Yeah, okay.
You just proved his point.
Yeah, absolutely, and but then again, Meryl Streep never would have been good in the Pope Greenwich Village. As well.
Actually, she probably would.
Yeah, that's true. You know what? She could have pulled.
She could have pulled it off.
Thank you guys both. Is there anything you want me to promote for you? Is there anything you have going right now that you would like people to go see?
Well, we have kids. We have a movie star, we have a rock and roll star, and we have a chef. And now we have 3 grandchildren. Georgia, Rhodes, and Magnolia. Aren't those great names?
Yeah, they're nice names.
But nobody has to go see them. But yeah, sure. Keaton, we and he's been right here with Chris Cornell on Sirius and doing playing a bunch of stuff that has many millions of views. But he's on tour with Brett Young right now.
He opened for
And
Eric
Keaton
Clapton
Simons.
last year, and now he's on tour with Brett Young, and he's just a killer guitar player and a killer singer-songwriter.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I think
that's
it's- I
something
think it's-
to go see. Yeah.
It's safe to say we'll support anybody with the last name Roberts.
Well, his name is Simons.
Oh,
But that is a very good point and a whole other conversation.
Yeah,
by
that's
the
all
way.
other conversation.
well, Sam's last name is Roberts.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And I didn't, but I'm so dumb. I didn't make the connection
I
until he
know.
made it. I was like,
But
oh yeah,
Sam,
you're right.
did you hear that genealogically, supposedly, these Robertses, their last
Or
name?
Mitchells. We're Mitchells.
Yeah, they're
We're not
actual-
even Robertses.
What about
Really?
you?
My sister does this
That show, Who Are You, or Who Am I, or Who Are They, or whatever
Who have
it's
you
called.
been? Whatever.
Yeah.
And she found out they were not even Robertses. We're Mitchells. We're only
My
Robertses by
uncle-
marriage.
Yeah.
This is odd because my uncle and brother both have the middle name Mitchell.
What?
that's far out.
See, I already decided
Yeah.
you guys were related.
That's
Yeah,
far out.
I think we're connected.
I think so too. Oh my God, I have chills. All
I
right.
just want you to know that's really going to bother me if he's related to you. That's going to upset me.
I like it too.
Hey, bro. Hey,
We're
cuz.
crushing it, dude. We're crushing it, dude.
Yeah, good for us, man.
Thank you guys
Yeah,
so
we're the
much,
best.
and
course.
come back again. This was
Yes.
so great to talk to you.
Thank you, dude. It was a
Awesome.
pleasure. These guys never speak. What's up with them?
They've been
they're-
told.
Nah, they stink.
They're producing. They're finding everything. They're the ones who found that you and Stone Cold picture.
Oh, they're the bosses.
yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, I guess they would see themselves like that. Yeah,
They would see.
yeah. Thank you, Eric and Eliza. Thank you guys so much.
It's Jim and Sam's best of the year so far.
Stole girls' laundry and masturbated with them for years. And what are you talking about? That's a very healthy thing.
That is a very normal thing.
We'll be right back. Faction Talks, Trump Nation.
Now that we are more than a full week into this new year, we have a tremendous amount of guests. The one
Triumph. Get real answers with
slipping on the ice.
Yeah.
They go, yeah, a guy choked. We assume that's how. So the room of G, like you were happy that you got the opportunity. I was just happy to be cast.
I was just grateful to be around really, really.
Man, if you work for the city, or who does that? The coroner's office. So
Probably.
that's a city job, right?
Yeah.
Where you're just like, you just come home and they're like, well, "How's your day?" And you go, can we just eat? Can we just watch Monday Night Football?"
Do you think there's a Hollywood coroner that goes like that tells their friends, "No, there was cum all over his body"?
Yes,
He was choking.
100%. There were people that took pictures of Kobe after the helicopter crash.
Yeah, cops.
Yeah, cops.
Yeah.
There are people being like, "Yeah, I cleaned up Robin Williams. He was a pool of cum."
There's some coroner's person.
Cum on him.
There's someone that gets a call that says, "Look, we got a hanging," and then they go, "Bring the spatula."
It is.
That's how you know.
Yeah. They go. We found the victim. He hung himself, and he goes, "Wet or dry?"
Yeah.
He goes, "It was a wet one."
It was a wet hanging.
All right, I'll be there in 15.
He's just mouthing the word jizz.
Yeah, jizz. A lot of jizz. Yeah, a lot of jizz.
It's a jizzy one.
He goes, "All right, I'll bring the wet wipes."
And it's probably usually a maid that finds you or something. Like Carradine was in a hotel, I'm pretty sure. I think he was on a shoot.
They have to pull the maid aside, slip her some money, and go like, "Don't tell anyone about the cum."
The man, his penis was out. He was.
No, don't bring it. Don't bring it. How'd you like to never have to worry about your family again?
Yeah.
Stop talking
How
about
about
the
we
penis.
don't call ICE?
Yeah.
She's like, "You see.
Don't bring up the penis.
Yeah.
I think he was on a shoot, which is
He was in Bangkok filming a movie.
It just
Well, Bangkok,
sucks.
they're used to that.
Yeah.
Bangkok, that's how you check out of a hotel
That's
in
slipping
Bangkok.
on the ice.
Yeah.
They go, yeah, a guy choked. We assume that's how. So the room will be ready by 3?
But you imagine you do a gig, you get an audition, and you get the part, and you're like, the movie falls apart because the lead jerks off and kills himself.
Oh my God! And then
2 days in a shooting.
Then you got to go back to LA with that fake energy, like you were happy that you got the opportunity. I was just happy to be cast.
I was just grateful to be around really, really good people for 2 days.
Honestly, the 2 days we did work together, I learned a lot.
He was so sweet.
He was so sweet and stayed in character.
And you know, and you have to realize there's nothing that I could have done better. You know, why did the movie get canceled? Oh, you choked.
He was masturbating and killed himself by accident.
Isn't that almost better than that?
And he missed the cutoff time and he died.
Yeah, that's almost better than making the movie. Like
Yeah.
if you had a movie canceled because fucking the lead jerked off and killed himself.
Unless you wrote the script and then you're like, it was a good movie.
Curtain cord. He was dead for at least 12 hours. No sign of struggle. He might have been from accidental suffocation, or since there was no suicide note, found with a rope tied to both his neck and his genitals.
Damn.
He was a fucking OG.
He's a wild boy.
Yeah.
That's David Carradine. He was a wild boy.
He doubled down, tying his nuts to his neck.
Yeah.
Or what was it? Was it like a pulley system that pulled his neck and his dick at the same time?
I would have to imagine, a double lasso.
As he's doing it, he goes, Paul Newman taught me this. Like an old Hollywood story. Fun story about this. Dick Clark, when he was a radio host, used to say this is how he came. They always have those old-timey Hollywood things. We had a diner having a soda fizz. And Paul Newman said, buddy, you haven't came till you've tied your wiener to your neck.
How would you? Now you just double the loop.
You go 1. It's like a shoelace rhyme. He goes around the corner, over the hedge, and back up.
Did he have the ladies' clothes on though? Why am I thinking that? I heard he was dressed up.
Says he was naked.
What's that?
Says he was naked.
Oh, he was naked, or I was incorrect.
So maybe you spiced it up for yourself.
Yeah, maybe I just had to. Yeah, I had to make it into a way that I could palate it.
I don't know. Maybe something lacy.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It would
something a little.
It would also really affect the mental health industry, because the story is always like, see, you never know when someone is suffering through depression.
What they're going through.
But what if the reason we couldn't tell they were suffering through depression was because they just wanted to jerk off and choke themselves?
Yeah, they'd have to pivot completely and go, you never know who's going for a super nut.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah.
Who thinks they can come
Big
a little
Pharma.
bit harder.
Big Pharma would fight back.
Oh, yeah.
That guy didn't seem depressed at all. He wasn't depressed.
No, he
was
wasn't at all.
choke jerking.
Yeah.
He wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was doing fine on his meds.
Yeah. He saw a bare tit on ESPN. Time to jerk off.
I had to wrap the rope around.
I love that was a who cares that lady showed her tit?
But you do, as I told Jim, you do have to explain, if you're ESPN, if you don't at least acknowledge there was just a tit on TV, you're gaslighting the audience.
I go, what did you see?
Huh?
Yeah, what? That was a chubby boy.
Yeah. No, I just saw a titty. Why wouldn't
Yeah.
you recognize?
I saw a tit when you guys came back
There
to the
was- no,
Sugar
you-
Bowl.
I don't think so.
It was a fat boy showing excitement for a donut.
Yeah.
And it was like, and she wasn't even doing it for the camera. We watched it, and it was like she was actually doing it to someone to get beads on. She didn't
Yeah.
realize it was a camera.
Yeah.
She's
Well,
just taking her titty out because that's what you do.
fuck ESPN. That's what Disney gets
Yep.
for being that whole like we're a family, everything's
right.
perfect. It's like nah, fuck you. You guys were filming in New Orleans and you got New Orleans on you.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Fuck you. You're saying fuck you to ESPN.
Yeah, oh, I
And you
say-
deserve a titty.
I stand 10 toes down saying fuck you to ESPN.
I love that.
in our household.
You
but
do. Oh,
it-
yeah. I guess you would. I
Yeah.
guess you would.
Worldwide leader of sports, my ass.
Yeah.
Suck my nuts.
Yeah, I've always said ESPN's the worldwide leader of these nuts. That's
Yeah,
what-
bring back CNN SI.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. There's no alternative. We're a Bleacher Report house now. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah, because of Katie. I'm like, fuck them. But they.
Did they fire her?
Nah, she left.
Oh, she left. Okay.
She left her contract. But they, after you know someone that works there, and you just kind of see how like Disney, how fake it is.
Disneyfied.
Yeah, where they call all of what do they call their employees? Cast members.
Ah.
That's exactly it.
Not at ESPN.
Yes, anyone
Even
that's
at ESPN?
anyone that's under the Disney umbrella.
Is a cast member?
Yeah, which is really funny because there's got to be some dark like avenues that Disney owns where they're like, you know, like a Blackwater company or something that's funded by Disney, and they're like, you're a cast member. He goes, all right, well, this cast member just killed 3 civilians in Yemen. You should probably not tell anybody. Did you do it in the Mickey Mouse voice? And he goes, I did. Oh, are you giving weapons to terrorists? Oh, open the fucking door, old man.
He's a cast member.
I'm going to kick in the door and shoot your daughter in the chest, you fucking pussy. Yeah, Disney is so goddamn evil.
So you're probably pretty happy about the Steamboat Willie stuff. They're
Oh,
making Steamboat Willie
horror
movies and stuff. They
Well, they
lost
did
their-
the Winnie the Pooh one.
It's terrible.
Did you watch it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. In
Well,
theaters.
You went and saw it in theaters.
I bought a ticket.
How bad was it?
It was as bad as a movie gets.
Is it out? Can I watch it on
Yeah,
streaming?
it's on Peacock.
Hey,
I know you got Peacock.
You know I got Peacock.
I know you got Peacock.
You know that for my WWEs.
Oh, yeah.
For my man dancing. I'll go watch that Winnie the Pooh.
It's worth a watch.
It's like a bad movie watch, right? Like you know it's gonna suck, and it does.
And for the exercise of look what happens when beloved characters enter the public domain.
Yeah.
Like it's good that it exists just for the
Was
exercise.
is there an Eeyore character?
No, they reference Eeyore. They I'm going to just tell you.
Yeah, you can tell me because I'm going to watch it anyways.
The plot is that Christopher Robin went to college, so he stopped visiting Pooh and Eeyore. So he stopped visiting the 100 Acre Woods.
Yeah.
And so all the animals in the 100 Acre Wood had been domesticated because they'd been hanging out with Christopher Robin for so long.
So now they go back to being feral.
So they didn't know how to survive the cold winter, so they ate Eeyore because it was all they
He was
could do
depressed.
to survive.
Yeah.
And
He's
he was
like,
depressed anyway.
I understand.
And it drove Pooh and Piglet to madness. And so now they're these rabid, murderous beasts.
What about the gopher? Was he like, kill everybody?
I don't think
murder everyone. Please kill him.
I don't think Gopher's public domain yet.
Dude, gopher better be. Let's fuck him first.
Wait, what was Gopher later than the other ones? How
because
does one
like
become?
Tigger just entered.
Yeah.
So Tigger's not in this movie. He's going to be in the sequel. Though,
Oh,
'cause they're
my
making a
God.
sequel. And then Christopher Robin brings his
Let's
girlfriend.
fuck their body. If we're gonna kill them, we gotta fuck them first.
But I love that you know all the Pooh character voices.
Well, that seems like a good butthole to be fucking, and that's what Tiggers do best. Is fuck buttholes.
I didn't know he was a sexual criminal.
I'm a deviant. That's right, Pooh. I've been waiting to fuck Christopher Robin in his young boy butt. That's what would have been funnier is if they made Pooh like they should have turned it into a court drama.
Yeah.
And he molested Christopher Robin. He goes, well, there was a reason I was just wearing a T-shirt. I wanted Christopher to suck me behind the tree. Oh, God, the way you play with my cock. Oh, Christopher, I've missed those hands. Oh, you're a very passionate lover, Christopher.
It's public domain.
Yeah,
I
you
whatever
can
the
do
fuck.
that.
Is Christopher Robin public domain?
Yes, Christopher
Okay.
Robin's in the film.
Christopher Robin's like, dude, please leave me out of this. Dude, I don't know. I fucked around with some stuffed animals. My dad wrote a weird story, and now I got to keep coming around about this.
How did he enter me into the public domain?
Stop it, Father. I'm not public domain.
Yeah, so Christopher Robin brings his girlfriend back to the 100-acre wood to be like, I got to show you, like, before, we're going to get married, I want to show you these animals that I hung out with when I was a kid.
Okay.
And then
just the regular girls, like, you hung out with animals in the forest?
Right.
Okay, Tarzan.
And then they try to kill him.
He goes, one of them's depressed.
Where's
Eeyore?
Where's Eeyore?
He finally did it.
But they also don't talk.
That sad son of a bitch pulled the trigger. It was a choke jerk. He did it with his tail.
You'd be surprised it wasn't the depression.
Yeah, the depression didn't get him. It was the autoerotic asphyxiation.
Why do they talk?
Why don't they
Yeah.
talk? Because they can't do the impressions very well.
They should have fucking hired me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have worked on a shit movie.
Yeah, I don't think they would have paid very well.
I don't know. If it would have extended my SAG-AFTRA healthcare, I would have done it.
Yeah, it would have.
Yeah. I saw you. I was telling Sam this. I saw Sam on a documentary I watched last night about, they had like a little clip of you talking about Natalia
Grace. I
Natalia
keep getting
Grace.
hit up. I guess a lot of people must be watching it because, there's a little clip on in the beginning of The Curious Case of Natalia Grace. Season 2.
Season 2. Bennett, the adopted father,
is the greatest character of any show of all time.
Have you watched the new season?
I watched the first season, and I'm obsessed with him.
Have you seen the new episodes?
No.
Not this one. No, not these new ones.
Great.
I'm going to watch
He's back. He's a bigger pussy than he was in season 1.
Is she in it?
Yeah, it's all about her.
They interview her.
They interview her, and they interview like the people that raised her now.
Right.
Because now her dad is a black deacon. Which,
That's right.
Come on.
That's right.
What a season 2 move. Bringing in a black dad
Yeah,
that's
huge.
also a deacon who just gods her up before she walks in any room. He goes, the Lord is strong in here. And she's like, well, here we go. Like her walking into a room. Now you tiny, but you got the power of God in you. I love it. Dude, he is such a pussy. End of episode 2. We just watched it last night.
Of the new season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is such a bitch. She sits down with him.
Mm-hmm.
He goes from being hateable to legendary, like
I can't wait.
legendary bitch.
I can't wait.
Yeah, dude. It's
yeah.
by the way, it is a horribly made documentary.
Is it? Is it one
Whoever
part
made
or a
it.
series?
It's a series. Whoever made it, dog shit at making documentaries.
Well, I think that they rush. Oh, he's got mutton chops
He's
now.
got muttons,
He's got
dude.
burn sides.
He goes, there's a scene where she's like,
He's got
did
a
you know?
backwards hat on. He looks like Rich Voss.
Yeah. He goes, okay, so I got this ring. Okay, this is $1 million. And then I got this ring. This is also $1 million. I got $2 million on my hands. I can't ask you what time it is.
Rules.
Yeah.
Dude, there's a scene where she sits down to talk with him, and he goes like, he puts his hand on his face, and he goes, me and you had the same enemy. And then he goes into it. You're like, dude, I
love him.
I want to find his address and fight this guy. That's how much I hate this.
Did you
fucking
watch
guy.
the first season?
Katie was watching it,
Yeah.
and I came home one night after spots, and she was like, "You got to see this guy." And I sat down mid-season.
Oh, you got to watch the beginning of it.
Did
too,
you
to
see when
watch
he
it
threw the
unfold.
baseball bat in the one interview scene?
No.
Where he's like holding a baseball bat. He's like talking, and he's like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, he
Throws.
does. He still got his good stuff.
Or this
Because
one-
in season 2, he just gets upset and walks away and grabs his red Gatorade, and
you
he
see
goes, "No!" And you're like, "Dude, look at
this
him.
is it. This is so good.
This guy sucks."
I have already lost everything in my life once. If you were to show up here, right now, and you were to tell me that you've got my youngest son, Ethan,
By the way, he's got the energy
My
of the
little
guy that
son,
used to run
Wesley.
the channel.
in your car with you right now,
Yeah, he does. He's
And
got
you would
cowboy
tell
boots
me,
on.
Mr.
Oh
Barnett,
yeah.
you can see him for 5 minutes.
That stiff Richard.
You can smile. You can hug your children. It's only for 5 minutes. But to do it, you need to cut your arm off.
So
What?
I'm not even going to
theatrical.
hesitate.
I know.
Where's
What
the
a
set?
shit hug.
He's the kind of
I
guy
will-
that he's the kind of guy, and you know people like
I will
this
do
that
anything.
when they're
Oh, he's
dramatic,
crying.
they when they talk to you, they look up or they don't look at you or they shut their eyes and they go, "There's something going on here," and you're like, "You pussy, make eye contact."
Yeah, because it's a performance.
He's trying to
It's
stay
not
in
real.
character.
Yeah.
He performs every time he talks.
He does.
Every
yeah.
time he opens his mouth.
The man is an ass.
Dude,
He's the greatest.
Wait till season 2.
Watch this. Watch this. Watch him throw that bat.
I will do anything if I can.
Oh, he's crying.
He gets caught up with emotion a lot.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, he does.
bitch
It
mode.
seems genuine.
Yep.
I'm gonna trick this baseball bat off. I thought we were gonna play.
When this first started, every single
Did
You
you
go,
see?
what is that, Easton? What's that weight? 34? You start asking baseball bat stuff. Kind of hooked that thing pretty good. That's not a 36, is it?
Did you see on the first season that dude, this guy he's my favorite person in the world, and I got kids.
Your wife and kids are like, you just turn off the radio?
Nope.
Your wife walks to the radio in the kitchen and turns it off.
This is my soulmate right here. When he goes, when he reenacts the assault, he goes like this. He goes. They go, well, how did your ex-wife hit her? He goes, how? Do you want to see?
Do you want me to do it? Are you familiar with a crescent kick?
And he stands up. He goes, do you guys have this? Do you have a wide shot here? Okay, because she went down like this. He
Dude,
starts reenacting.
Okay.
And hitting the
floor.
ground.
Please find it.
It is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Sucks, dude.
Yeah.
He sucks.
She sucks too, though. The kid, that kid sucks too because
Natalia Grace?
everyone said she smelled bad and she was pushy and weird.
Watch season 2, dude.
Bro, they moved
'Cause
her into an apartment when she was 13.
Dude, she shows up and she goes,
I didn't even know what's going on.
that's like all of season 2 is her going like this.
I was 7.
And she goes, I don't know. It really is hilarious to watch the interview with her because she comes in and she goes like, I wasn't trying to kill anyone. Good job, Travis.
Isn't this great?
I love this.
This is maybe early 2011. You feel the tension in the air.
He's gay, right?
He's
Walk
gotta
into
be.
the house. I see my wife.
Everything's performance.
Yeah.
I'll tell you as accurate as I can. Get one of you guys point the camera at the floor.
That's so funny.
Get one guy's point.
Guys, shoot down at the floor.
I need right here, Rich,
Him directing.
to get you to understand.
He's kneeling down. Oh, he's going to do a little. He's getting into character.
Yeah.
Yep.
The beings were similar to this.
That's so funny.
Do you understand?
He's just punching the rug.
Do you
Yeah.
understand how awesome
Could
these
someone put Pat Benatar to this? We are young. He looks like he has a thirst for cock like I've never seen.
Yeah.
He looks
Yeah.
like he is in the desert of pussy.
An
and wants to-
unquenched thirst for cock.
Look at those
he
chops,
like he'd
though.
go more, no more.
Yeah.
I need it. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, do you understand how great it is that these documentary makers, that's why I'm not sure that I appreciate you insulting them.
Well, they need
Bro,
to learn how to edit.
They decided to leave all of that in.
Yeah.
He intended for them to edit around his camera instructions.
Well, Sam, sometimes hillbillies can be sitting on a gold mine, and you know that.
But they might not have been aware of how stupid this made him look.
This is.
You don't think so?
No, maybe it was an accident. They probably thought they were being helpful, not realizing that he would look so fucking
It's
stupid.
so fucking.
It's probably right.
Please, though. I can't wait to get. I'm going to get you excited. Episode 2 of season 2.
Okay.
Black Deacon versus closeted gay father.
I want to see. I want to see.
It's great.
Oh, I can't wait.
Now I'm going to ask you, stop using language like that. And then he goes, "Ah!" It's fucking.
When did this go up? Because I saw her
This
pop
week.
up on Netflix. Okay, it is new. All right, good.
Yeah,
It's on
there's
HBO.
Oh,
there's
okay.
3 episodes out right now, I think. There's 3 because we watched the first.
Yeah, but I think there's one more.
Coming?
Yeah, I think
So it's 4 total?
I think it's 4.
Yeah, they are dragging it out. No one wants to make a documentary anymore that's
No.
just 90 minutes and fucking gets everything in there.
It's also the season 2 aspect of it.
Yeah.
Like they already told.
Wait
the
till you
whole
see
story.
the opening graphic because it's like her little face behind like a open curtain and it's like Natalia speaks and she's like,
Hey, everybody. Hey, it's me. Little person, big words. Here I come.
Oh, it's 6 parts.
fuck
Yeah.
that.
All right.
I don't
Yes.
know. Nah, dude.
Yes.
Dude, this guy makes me angry. This guy makes me angry on a level
He
of
is hate. It's a visceral hatred.
Yes.
Yeah, I understand it.
He is.
Visceral.
He sucks and he takes zero accountability
Yeah.
and that pisses me off
Dude,
so much.
Season 1 is so brilliant. because the first 2, maybe even 3 episodes, they're setting this up like it's that movie Orphan.
Yeah.
And you're going to find out this Natalia Grace was this psycho pretending to be a kid. And then they slowly transition into seeing that the mom is like horribly abusive.
Yeah.
And this dad is the craziest, most hateable person you'll ever see.
He's a real putz. It's the only way to describe
The mother was
him.
sexy, if I remember right.
She
kind of sexy,
Yeah,
right?
remember the Facebook messages that he had printed out?
Yeah, she was talking dirty to someone.
She was
yeah.
sex talking everybody.
Yeah, she's a good egg.
She loves sex talking.
Mommy's a good egg.
Wait till season 2, you realize she's the problem.
All right, I
like
hope so.
he's a goof, but you realize she's like a cold bitch.
Yeah.
Because she pushed her kid as a genius, and then they talk to him, and you're like, there's zero. Like he might be smart at math, but that kid had a tough life.
Yeah.
He's the kid that lived in the basement, right?
He still lives, they interview him in the basement.
That's sick.
And he's like, she took all my money. He just hates his mom.
Is he the one that left his mic on the first one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he felt bad about himself.
Sure.
He left his mic on, and then the dad, and of course they just left it all in the doc, and you hear him, and he goes upstairs. He's off camera, and he's like, I decided not to tell them about when mom kicked her down the stairs. I did. Oh no.
That's so funny.
He goes, oh no, and the dad goes, what?
What?
And
What's wrong?
And he goes,
I'm wearing a mic.
I left my mic on. And the dad goes, oh, that's fine. They won't be able to hear this.
Yeah.
We're all
The
listening.
dad wanted her thrown under the right. The father was happy though. He wanted her thrown under the bus. He loved that the kid said that.
That's because he hates the wife.
Yeah.
That's why in season 2, when he finally meets up with Natalia, he goes like,
I can't.
we had the same problem.
I can't believe how awesome he looks now.
Yeah.
Dude, and then
Just big fat goatee, giant mutton chops.
Yeah.
Well, he comes in with a couple
backwards red hat like Fred Durst.
First off, this is a look you're not going to see in the first 2 episodes. He comes in with a different look.
Ooh. Oh, I love.
Drives up in a Miata.
Let me tell you something. Natalia Grace's dad does nothing but slay.
Stylizes.
All he does is slay
Style-
every day.
Comes in and he goes, I want to look like a different kind of asshole.
Look like a different kind of asshole. You slay. Look at that daddy.
Does he do press? Does he do interviews?
I don't know, but
Get him on.
I would
dude.
love to have him on.
Get him on. And
by the way, if we got him on, we would have to be with him every step of the way.
Of course.
You know who was really bad? Who's that? Your ex-wife?
The ex-wife is a problem.
Oh, you're right.
She was. He goes, can you read us some of those Facebook messages? You're trying to get all pervy.
Oh, yeah.
You got access to those Facebook messages?
You bring those, remember those Facebook messages you printed?
You might print them out, a copy for me?
You got them?
I got a long ride home.
I think his mommy's a dirty girl, and I think that he might not be as into the pussy as she wished he was.
Yeah, I think she thought he was a deviant.
Yeah.
And it turns out he was just a bitch.
Yeah, I think he's just a little sub.
She had her Dropbox connected to mine, and I saw the pictures she was sending. And they were in lingerie and inappropriate garments.
Can I tell you my favorite character from season 1 that they bring back in season 2 is the little person that doesn't want to fuck other little people?
Oh, that guy rules.
That guy rules. He's just up in his chair.
Nah, man.
He goes,
That shit's gross. Ew, what would I want to fuck a little pussy? Get out of here. Ew, I want big puss.
I thought she was talking to this little person to support Natalia, and they were having a torrid affair.
yeah.
Oh, that's when mother was having an affair with a little person.
There was sex talk with the little person.
Right.
And he's back. And then at the end, because they said like in season 1, they said that she offered up Natalia to him, and he's like,
Ew.
you go, what do you mean, ew? And he goes,
I don't know. Who fucks those kind of people?
and you go, what? You know you're one of them, right? And he goes,
Oh, no. I just thought I hadn't grown yet.
Yeah, he was great.
oh my God.
But yeah, I'm very anxious to see what they do for 6 episodes here, because they really are just...
They're dragging it out.
Well, yeah, because season 1 was a phenomenon, and it was full of these absurd characters. So, like, what if we talk to these absurd characters longer, and we spliced in an interview with Natalia?
Well, they have her. It's all about her on season 2.
That's
they
sick.
like go
That's
to her
sick.
house. They like follow everything. They go talk to doctors that they like said diagnosed her, and the doctor's like, they talk to a dentist that's like, no, she had kids' teeth. Like, this woman said that she was an adult, and they brought her in here. They like show how the
Do you think they were lying about the pubes?
They covered everything up. They talk about how they covered everything up. About how like all these doctors in the adoption papers were like, hey, we had her tested by a doctor that deals with dwarfism, and like she is 9 years old. Like they think she's not, like they would diagnose her as 9 years old, and the mom was just like, no, she's 22.
Yeah, she's 22. She lives in her own apartment.
She had an old lady face, though. She did have an old lady face.
Well, that's the problem. I think with dwarfism is you have regular size head and a tiny body, so you go like, that head could be 22.
Yeah.
And they're like,
Please don't do this.
just put her in the hood. They just put her in the hood by herself at 9, and she's a dwarf.
Right. She's like, well, I don't know. She couldn't take care of herself. It was terrible.
Yeah.
She's a 9-year-old dwarf.
They also talk about like she needed surgeries. Like the kind of dwarfism she has required a lot of surgeries, but the doctors were like, well, we don't, if you're an adult, we cannot do this surgery. This is a surgery for dwarves who are children. So if you're an adult, this will fuck your shit up. And she's like, I'm a child. And well, she says in the interview, she goes, I didn't know. They fucked with my head so much.
Right.
The mom kept abusing her, going, you're 22. And then in season 2, you learn why the mom did it. The mom had a reason.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't working out the way the mom wanted to.
I knew the mom wasn't irrational. At least she had a valid reason.
Yeah.
I backed the mom. I backed the mom.
Just because of her slutty messages, you go, this is a good egg.
The mom's a good egg. She was sick of him and her. She wanted to just be out fucking.
Imagine that you got this twink and a little, and then that anchor on your, a little ankle anchor.
Yeah. I'm team mom. Team mom.
Jim's full team mom.
Team mom.
You mean when her son with difficulties was scolded and told that he needed to go piss on his adopted sister's bed?
Really? That's fun. What are they, a frat?
The basement kid was like,
that sounds like just people horsing around.
Yeah, he's having a good time. Mom was funny.
What, we don't party here?
I go, Mom, did you have my brother piss on my bed? And she goes,
I don't know.
What are you, 22? Go pick us up some beer. I'm just kidding. We're going to drop you off at an apartment. No, I'm just kidding. We're going to leave you in the hood.
Yeah. Yeah. Freddie
guy.
Gill, baby.
Yeah, this
Freddie
guy.
Gill.
Freddie Gill rules.
He goes, ew. Dwarf pussy? Gross.
Freddie Gill is awesome.
Just like my sodas, I like my pussy like I like my sodas. Supersized.
So the mom did try to give Natalia to him.
No, she tried to that was in season 1. They haven't worked back on this. Right now, just through the first 2 episodes, they're talking about how the mom changed everything so that she could just basically get rid of this kid that she didn't want anymore.
Right. She was like, well, what if you're an adult?
Well, because there was a motive. Because she said her son was a genius. So she was like, oh, I can do this. I can turn special needs peoples into geniuses.
Oh.
And Natalia was like, I'm just a kid. And she's like, no, you're a weird kid because you're a dwarf. So you're going to live by yourself.
Yeah. You're going to go live in this apartment alone.
That picture, look at the picture, Travis, the one where it's the husband and wife and they're holding each other in the carriage. That one, that right there shows you their entire relationship.
Oh, yeah.
He's
Look at
grinning like an idiot, and she's like, this fucking
She's
dildo.
bored and frowning, although she did say Natalia attacked her and tried to kill her by the fence. And I tend to believe the mom. That they kid,
well, you're team mom.
I'm team mom. The kid attacked her and tried to kill her.
Yeah,
if I know anything,
watching the begin, literally from the beginning, they're like, it was like a year, and she was threatening us with a knife, and I'm like, even if a person is a dwarf, if a person lives in your house and wants to stab you with a knife, it doesn't take a year.
Yeah,
they're in your house all the time. They would just do it.
It is a thought where you're like, wait, you just thought that one day she was like, you know what, I'm gonna kill these motherfuckers.
Yeah. Or you know what? I'll spend months threatening to do it.
Yeah, these people suck. So get ready.
I'll tell you one thing. This mom,
I can't fucking wait.
This mom is one of the great all-time fucks.
Oh my God!
I guarantee you, she is a great.
I bet you could find several of her ex-boyfriends that were like, yeah, I knew she's a problem, but the pussy was so good.
I stayed way longer than I should have.
She does this thing where she will yell at you and then fuck you, and I don't know, man. It just. Anyways, I'm into choke jerking now. I can't get over this bitch.
Yeah, the damage she did to their lives is still there, and they're like, I guess I would do it again.
I'd run it back.
Yeah, I think I would.
Is she exercising?
Yeah, I would.
They're always the ones who are like, no matter how nuts they are, you're like, it's hard to not go back because the sex was great.
Yeah, would I throw it all away?
Yes.
And even if I said no, I'd be tempted. Even if I wouldn't, I would want to.
If you were horny and texting with her, and she's like, I tried to kill my adopted dwarf daughter, and he goes, whatever. Who would?
Please.
Whatever. You're role playing.
Yeah.
Whatever. Hey, you were taking time for yourself.
Yeah.
It's like that. I get horny.
And,
and you know what? I see it from your side.
Yeah, look, we all make mistakes trying to get back to the good, dirty shit.
Oh, God, you got to deal. Anyways, what are you wearing?
Yeah.
Plus, she's crazy and manipulative.
Yeah.
So she would know the one dirty phrase.
Yeah.
Like that like that thing that would trigger you, like you've been conditioned. Like, you're
Yeah.
like, no. Oh my God. Yes.
She goes, I got the baby oil, and you go, fucking kill that little bitch.
Yeah.
I'm glad you dropped her off in an apartment.
Yeah, she's got Manchurian candidate
Yeah,
for
she
everyone.
can activate.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are those phrases too that will hit you that just that the ones who know.
He goes, that breath. He goes, oh fuck.
Yeah.
I gotta get back.
Well, you read it in text. It's like a shot of fucking. It's like a shot of coke.
You're like your back jaw just starts clenching. You're like, what the fuck is this? Yeah, look at that woman is evil and manipulative,
Sexy.
and absolutely has the best pussy on the block.
100%. Yeah.
That
And
I
she's
mean,
aware. And she's aware of it.
yeah, she know. I mean, yeah, she was probably cheating on that guy the entire time they were together.
There was never a time that she wasn't.
Yeah.
But you wonder if he knew it. Was he a cuck? Do you think he knew that she
He's
was
got
cheating?
cuck energy.
He does have
He
cuck
has
energy.
major cuck energy, but he seemed mad about the Dropbox thing.
Or he would come over dramatically and be like, my wife saw you across the thing. Would you want to fuck her in front of me?
Although, you
Dude,
know
he
what?
does this when he's talking to
That's
Natalia.
right. And when you did that, he's also such a drama queen
Yeah.
that he might just be in love with the drama of it all. I can't believe she's still
Yeah.
cheating on me, but he won't leave because he loves the problem.
He has to walk out of the room and she's getting nailed by another guy. He goes, I just can't.
Yeah. Oh, we're going to talk about this later.
Oh, I got to go kick around our adopted daughter like a soccer ball in the backyard.
Please, no more. I'm only 9.
You're 22.
Who did you vote for? That's what Katie said. Katie goes, man, she could have fucked up a local election.
Oh, yeah.
Just going in and being like,
For a district house, I vote
for it. And you go, you're 9. Yeah, it was. This documentary is wild, and it's horribly made.
Yeah, even if part of being horrible is leaving them on too long, but when you're letting these crazy fucks just kind of ramble,
Yeah.
I can live with that.
Yeah, it's a fucking zoo for
It's
idiots.
a zoo for idiots.
And yeah, I mean, and it's clearly rushed.
Oh, they made it like in a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you could tell in some moments they drop dramatic music, and you're like, "That's not the right. This isn't the right time to do that." Guys,
Put it get it out.
boom, boom.
Yeah, she's making a sandwich.
Yeah, putting on her weird shoes, and they go. Oh.
Was she the type of
Weird shoes.
Remember?
Wait till you see her fucking weird shoes.
Yeah.
Did you see in 90 Day Fiance the dwarf they had? She had those. She could hardly get up the steps. Like she had those fucked up.
And then someone had to act in love with her for citizenship.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
No, she was the foreign.
Oh, she was.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah, that guy, and and she was pissed because the guy kept like doing things that you would do with like a normal girl.
Yeah.
Like the hotel didn't have an
Damn,
elevator.
dude.
She was
She's a
sexy, yeah.
Little hottie.
Yeah, but she said she had put racist things on Facebook years before, and they
That's right.
yanked her
They
off the
canceled
show.
her.
Oh, she's Kochnevik, so it's something Russian.
Alina. But yeah, she had like her shoes were all fucked up in her legs.
That's
She
right.
had something extra, I think.
Yeah.
So I wonder if Natalia's like this.
And then they checked into the hotel, and she was looking at the guy. She was like, "They don't have an elevator in this hotel," and the guy was like, "No."
He goes, hop on up.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
he never
Carried
even
her.
he never even considered. He's like, "What?"
He goes, that's why I brought the baby Bjorn. That's the elevator.
What are you talking about?
Yeah,
I am the elevator.
I'm gonna front load you. Yeah, I thought we were doing a whole like Master Blaster thing, where you ride on my back and you yell, who runs Earth out.
She's very pretty.
Damn, dude, those pictures. Then you see her and you go, I just thought there was gonna be more of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is very deceptive.
Yeah.
You at a bar stool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, she's like singing as Marilyn Monroe or something.
Yeah.
Damn, dude. If you have a fetish for little people, she's probably got to be like your top 5.
Top of the hill.
Yeah.
She's top of the heap, yeah.
Yeah. Because you go like, oh, and you're so tiny.
Except that one little guy, he was like, "Not for me."
Ew.
She's gross.
Ew. Someone pull her arms and legs out. Yuck.
This guy just swimming in regular sized pussy.
Yeah. No, why would I?
Yeah.
Why would I fuck a little person? Get that out of my face.
And there are plenty of adults who like adult women who date little like Brad
Really?
Williams' wife is fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
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 You know,
yeah,
there's some
true.
women that are like they're either cool with it or that's what they like, or he's got a gorgeous wife.
Yeah.
But it's
I
also
mean,
how you carry yourself. Too.
That conversation has to be like the third conversation where you go like, this is a fetish, right?
Yeah.
Like, how do you bring that up?
Or are you just seeing me as a person
Brad
and
rules.
this is just part of me? Like, yeah.
I love bread.
Yeah. But you do have to find out, like, you have to go, like, So have you ever dated any other little?
She goes, mostly. And you go, all right, it is a fetish.
Yeah, she'll let something slip. Like, I mean, I hate all the prejudice. I don't have any prejudice at all. I've actually only ever dated little people.
I only see little people as regular people.
Yeah.
And you go, you've never dated like just a regular guy. And she goes,
Huh?
I guess I never
not.
thought. I don't see color or size.
Yeah. What do you mean regular?
Yeah.
What do you mean she puts it back on you like you're a bigot for not?
You go, I meant, fuck, I don't know. And she goes, let's just move forward.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, dude, it's I'm excited for you to watch this. And
I am too. I'm also excited. A lot of people are watching it. It's one of those that like I keep getting hit up by.
Well, you're
random
in the
people
first
going,
episode
like-
because
which
it goes, it caught the world by storm, and
I
it
was
shows
one of
you,
the-
and it goes, Natalia is a little slut. No, you go, what a little lying bitch.
Hot dog's in it too.
Yeah,
a little picture of hot dog in it.
He's in the corner.
Yeah. He's in a little box. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely see it. I didn't know it was. I was like, is this a new interview? Or
Yeah, it's
I
all
thought it
her,
was a
dude.
whole documentary.
Hey, speaking of new interviews, there's a new podcast on the block.
Ooh.
Soder.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Dan Soder podcast.
Oh, you finally doing it?
Yeah, I'm doing it.
Good.
It just once a week.
Oh, didn't I blow the announcement?
Yeah.
I saw. I thought I
told
did.
Jim at the cellar, I was like, I got to do a podcast because I need something to promote my dates. I'm going to do something easy, like 30 to 40 minutes or whatever. And
Jim literally-
I look at Twitter and someone's like, well, Jim, just let everyone know you're doing a podcast.
I was trying to promote it. I'm
thought
just
it was-
an idiot.
Jim
Honestly?
literally comes in the next day and he goes, I remember because that was the day I was on Zoom because I was stuck in traffic. And I was like, and I was just listening to you go like, yeah, I talked to Dan last night. He's going to start doing a weekly podcast, but it's going to be about a half hour.
Yeah.
I was like, this is all new information.
Oh,
I have decided to start doing it 45 minutes because 30 you realize is like, oh, that's nothing.
right.
Right.
And people were like, dude, come on, 30? And you're like, I'll go to 40 to 50, 45 to 50.
45.
45 I think
mean,
is perfect.
Is there a theme to it, or you just talk about whatever you want?
It's honestly just. I'm not lying. It's just to promote my gigs. I'm just hanging out with my friends, trying to be funny for 40. It's something you can listen to while you're going to the grocery store and back.
Yeah.
It's not like a 4-hour podcast where you need to put in markers. It's like
Yes.
it's just me. I just had Stavros on. Giannis is the episode today. Just did one with Roy Wood Jr.
And the draw is you'll be promoting your dates.
That's it. It's just I'm back on the road at the end of the month, and so I'm just like, it's just at my apartment. It's easy. I'd love to have you on, Jim, as you know.
45 minutes is easy too. That's a great. We live kind of close together.
Yeah, it's just super quick and easy, and you just bullshit for a little bit.
And it's a no pressure listen. Like when someone's like, I can invest 40 minutes. Like, that's an easy one to grab. You don't have to have 2 free hours.
Oh, I think a lot of podcasts are there for people to be like, I need something in the background and I want to listen to a conversation. And it's like, I appreciate it if you listen. And
Put it on while you wash the dishes. Pay attention to the dates.
Yeah, just listen at the
Dates
end.
at the end.
Right, pen and paper in hand.
Now,
down.
Is this video and audio? Or
Yeah.
audio release too?
Yeah, we put it. It's on like Spotify, iTunes, all that shit, and then we have we put it on YouTube, the video. But we also did. Katie and I drove out to Denver for Christmas, and then on the way back, we got caught in a blizzard and had to sleep in the parking lot of a Motel 6 in our rental car. So I had my podcast equipment. So there's 2 bonus episodes coming out about us being snowed in Nebraska. Fuck Nebraska.
Wow.
Why? The
Were there
hotel
no
was
rooms?
sold out?
I mean, dude, it was crazy. We were driving back. We were going to do Denver to Des Moines and then Des Moines to Chicago to go see Katie's brother in Chicago. And we were driving back from Denver the day after Christmas, and it was like blizzard warning Nebraska. But we looked, and it was like, doesn't seem like there's a big blizzard coming through. GPS all of a sudden, when we're near Big Springs, Nebraska, was like, hey, road closure ahead, alternate route. So we were like, okay, just hit like accept. I had to piss. We fueled up and pissed. I pissed at a gas station, got back on the GPS, and then the GPS kept switching where it was like an hour faster. And we're like, yes. And then it was like, avoid road closures. And we're like, yes. And we just kept switching. And finally we got to I-80, and there was a highway patrol guy there. And he's like, yeah, the highway's closed because of winds and blizzards. So we tried finding an alternate route that was like all these 18-wheelers were pulled to the side like Walmart trucks and shit.
Yeah.
Because it was a small county road. And it was snowing and like the wind was bad. And finally I told Katie, I'm like, let's go back to that truck stop, figure what's going on, and then we can leave. And we went to this truck stop where there was a Motel 6. And after like 2 hours, we were like, let's just get a room and then we can like watch TV and hang out and we'll just sleep here and then we'll wake up and drive to Chicago tomorrow. And we pulled up in the parking lot. There's like no vacancy. And so we found a parking spot in the parking lot. And then I went in and talked to the guy, and the guy was like, yeah, it was sold out in a half hour. And he's like, that was 2 hours ago. He's like, Nebraska shut it down, and there were like hundreds of people just in the parking lot. Like in the truck stop, we went in the truck stop, it was chaos. It was fucking chaos.
People just sitting there waiting it out.
In pajama pants, like Ninja Turtle pajama pants, just fucking mad. People were mad, but they were also doing that thing where there was the camaraderie of people that were mad together.
Yeah.
Where they're like, can you believe this shit? But it was closed. We were there from about 1 p.m. to 7:15 in the morning.
Man.
Just in the car.
Oh, wait, so like 16 hours?
Yeah. It sucked.
Wow.
It sucked. But I had a lot of good weed from Denver, and I got a Steam Deck for Christmas, so I was just playing video games.
I mean, that's cool.
And then I'd go to the Motel 6 and charge and take a piss. Just charge my video game console.
Was the guy cool about it?
He was, yeah, he understood. And then I was talking to the guy, and the guy was like from there, and like I saw a trucker come down to the lobby and be like, I'm leaving. He's like, I'm fucking leaving. What happens if I drive south on this street? And the guy did the thing where he goes, brother, you go down that street, there ain't no coming back. He's like, that is a county road. It has not been shoveled. It has not been cleared. You will get stuck. Your truck will get stuck. And the guy, you saw the guy like give up hope. He was like, fuck, all right. And then he told me, the guy was like, once those red lights stop blinking, that means the highway's open. So I just kept like checking in my car. And finally, at like 7:15, I looked and the lights were off. And I was like, let's fucking go. And we just drove straight to Chicago.
And how were the roads? They were at least passable.
They were fine.
Yeah.
That's what the thing is. It stopped snowing around 8 p.m. So we're sitting in our car and there's nothing going on. And they were worried about wind, I guess. That's like a real problem for Nebraska and Wyoming when you have
wind on the highway.
Yeah, when you have nothing out there, when you have no buildings blocking the wind.
I bet it's for trucks. I bet it's not even for cars. For tractor trailers blowing over.
Yeah, well, they said that there was a bunch of trucks that were jackknifed from the storm the night before, and so the guy at the Motel 6 was like, they're probably clearing the road of all the trucks that got fucked up.
Is that Tornado Alley too? Is that what there's a lot
That's
of
more
tornado?
Oklahoma.
Oh, okay.
But in Kansas and shit.
Yeah.
I think that's further south. But maybe, I don't know. It sucked. But we got a funny podcast where Katie and I were just bitching in the parking lot.
I'll watch that.
And then we kept saying how gay it was going to feel if someone caught us podcasting. If they just walked by and were holding mics. Katie immediately goes, if this happens, I'm just going to act like you're special needs. And I'm just placating you. Because I'm like, I want to talk into a microphone.
Yeah.
It sucked.
We thought we'd make some content while we were stuck.
It definitely left us hating Nebraska. We were like, fuck Nebraska.
And there was no other hotels around.
There was nothing.
Yeah.
And then Katie found a subreddit, or like found the Department of Transportation, Nebraska Department of Transportation, and people were just going off on it like, fuck you guys. And then a conspiracy theory brewed.
Yes.
That Nebraska was doing this to increase their local economy. So they were trapping people in Nebraska, so you had to spend money. And I was like, I kind of agree with that. I was like,
think that's right.
After 16 hours in your rental car in a parking lot, you're like, I think this is true.
That's a long fucking time,
Yeah,
man.
it was brutal.
I just love that because then you can go like, I believe yours. Let me tell you about this choke jerk thing that I've been working on.
Can we go one for one?
How far from the truck stop were you actually overnight?
Oh, I mean, we were around the corner. We were in the parking lot of the Motel 6, and the Motel 6, dude, what's funny is we started looking up reviews because there was a place attached to the Motel 6 called Phoenix Massage.
Nice. That's
and
nice.
So we were immediately like, well, this is to jerk off truckers.
What?
This is immediately so truckers can stop and get and then you looked at the reviews. We read the Google reviews, and one guy was just like, yeah, I got jerked off here. Like, he was just like completely honest about it. He's like, I got serviced. It was awesome. Anytime I see a Phoenix Massage, I'll stop. He's like, I'm a truck driver. Like, I love it, dude.
Were they open?
No.
Oh, close.
That would have been funny if I go, I need to go get a massage.
Yeah, my back hurts. Sit in the car.
You know what? My old football injury is acting up. He's like, don't you dare go in there. I come back whistling. What do you say we stay here a couple days? Kind of nice.
Eric in Kansas.
Hey, Dan, I feel for you. I was on my way back to Denver, from Iowa, and I got stuck at the truck stop in Ogallala.
Yeah, that was this
7 hours.
dude. You were
in. I know where you were at in Big Spring.
and I know exactly where you were because they were like, "Oh, they shut it down in Ogallala," and I was like, "Get me to Ogallala, whatever you fucking need to do."
It was windy as fuck, and it was icy as fuck. The last probably 25 miles into Ogallala, it's like every time you hit the brakes, you just start sliding.
Yeah, we figured there was a reason why they did it, but man, were we angry when it was happening.
Yeah, believe me, man. I feel you. It happens all the fucking time. Wyoming and Nebraska are bad for that.
Yeah,
and
the guy told me,
and you don't fuck around when they tell you to get off the road on those stretches. You get off the fucking road because you're taking your life in your own hands otherwise.
Yeah, I did feel like a city mouse because the guy at the Motel 6 was like, "Oh, they'll shut down with no snow if the wind is bad going into Wyoming." He goes, "Sometimes Wyoming will tell Nebraska, like, hey, shut down the highway. It's too windy up here in Wyoming."
Wow. I had no idea.
I didn't
that
know
stuff
roads.
happened.
I get for tractor trailers. Maybe cars get blown off too. I didn't.
Well, I think there's also, like, if you're from that area, I'm sure you know how to drive in it.
Yeah.
But if you're like a city slicker like Katie and I driving through and you get hit with that wind, you're probably like, whoa, whoa.
Totally. That's like Syracuse and snow. Like, they don't shut down for anything in Syracuse, and everybody just knows how to drive in feet of snow. It's not a problem.
About 2 years ago, I did comedy at the Carlson in Rochester, and I landed, and I was the last flight to get in, and they canceled every flight after me, and it snowed 2 feet. The show didn't get canceled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He picked me up. He was like, "No, the show's fine." He's like, "Everyone here's fine with that."
I mean,
they got the roads cleared. Everything's.
I don't think the whole. I was in Syracuse for 4 years, and there wasn't one class that was ever canceled. And I mean, feet and feet and feet of snow.
It's wild.
It didn't matter.
Because it's funny when you see cities that get hit with weather. I was in Vancouver for JFL doing shows at JFL Vancouver, and it snowed, and it shut down the city.
Yeah, they're not used to it, right?
Yeah. They never get snow. And they were like, it's fucking us up.
Yeah.
But then places like Nebraska or fucking, Syracuse and Rochester, Western New York, they're like, yeah, it's fine. We don't care.
But if they shut down, you know it's a problem.
Yeah.
You know it's a fucking problem.
Yeah. So, and I know we're like busting balls about wind or whatever, and we really made a lot of jokes about it, but I get it. I get that they're like, you'll get fucked up.
They've had enough trucks blow over onto car, and they're like, enough.
We're not doing this.
No.
And probably people, if that were to happen and you like lost a family member because they got killed in a car accident because of wind, I bet you would try to sue the state.
Yeah, plus...
And be like, why didn't you fucking shut down the roads?
The highway gets real hard to drive on anyway when there's a bunch of tipped over trucks on it.
Yeah.
Right. It sucks.
Dude, it was wild. And it really did. I mean, they shut it down in a way where like everyone was trapped. Like they were just like, no one's going anywhere.
That's nuts.
But shout out the Steam Deck, dude.
Yeah, shout out to Steam Deck. Shout out to portable podcast recorders.
Yeah, thanks Zoom H6.
Smart that you had it with you.
Well, we were like, we drove over 30 hours. So we were like, we might as well just have the equipment just in case.
Did you not want to fly, or did you like, hey, it'll be a fun...
We brought the dog.
Oh, okay.
And our dog cannot fly. She's a spaz.
So she was in the car with you for 16 hours?
She was great.
Oh.
We'd take her out, walk her. There was like a pet area. She'd piss, shit, and then bring her back. She was like a very good dog in that situation.
Yeah, I'm not shocked by that. I mean, just hanging out in the car with her people.
Yeah.
What kind of dog?
She's a mutt.
Okay.
She looks like a terrier, but she's like a little 45-pound fatso.
Nice.
But she was good. She was a good dog.
She handled it.
Yeah. She the whole trip we were really impressed with the dog because we were like, dude, if this dog, she's a pandemic dog, so she like goes nuts when she sees people.
Sure.
And then she was great. She was great. And that did suck, but whatever.
Did you guys actually sleep?
I did. I slept for like 2 hours. Katie didn't sleep. So I just drove. I drove like a lion's share of the way to Chicago. I probably drove like 10 hours and then she drove 2 because I was like, I'm fading.
Yeah.
I like couldn't even think. I went to get a coffee and I like couldn't talk to the guy. I was like, and I went back to the car. I was like, you're driving.
Yeah.
My brain is fucking fried.
By the way, speaking of dates, you can see Soder February 3rd at the New York Comedy Club in Stamford, Connecticut.
Yeah.
February 4th, the Funny Bone in Hartford.
Mm-hmm.
Then on to the Wilbur in Boston on the 17th. Cleveland, San Antonio, Austin, Cincinnati, Lexington, Nashville, all over the place. You can go to dansoder.com for all those dates.
Yeah.
And this podcast looks really good. I'm looking at the thumbnails. You have good guests on, and you're such a great talker. Like it's
thanks,
smart.
man.
You should be doing one. It's
I left the bonfire and realized probably like 6 months after, you're like, oh, you need somewhere for people to land.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't putting out a special. I didn't have anything that came out. And also, it's like, I got a lot of time on my hands now. This takes me nothing. This is like 1 hour a week.
And it's fun to talk and to do. You want to have something you're doing.
Yeah. And it is something, it's fun to, and I felt like the bonfire, I left at the perfect time. And now it's like fun watching Bobby and Jay grab momentum. And now it's like, it's a different show, but it's great. I've been listening and I love those guys.
Yeah.
So it's fun. I do sometimes get like jealous when I'm like, I want to do that bit.
Yeah. God, I would be having so much fun right now if I was.
Yeah. But you're like I'll call Jay after. I'll be like, that sounded like it was a lot of fun. But yeah, I'm doing that. And then once a month doing the regs with Lewis, List, and Bobby.
I thought that was a weekly podcast because it's getting a lot of views, so people love it.
Yeah. And people keep being like, you guys need to do this permanently. And you're like, the reason it's getting a lot of views is because it's once a month.
Right.
It's because it's only.
It feels special.
Yeah. And it's like, it's hard to get all four of us
It
together.
allows you guys to get together.
Joe just had a baby. Lewis is always busy. Bobby's got like 20,000 things.
Yeah.
So it's fun once a month just to sit around and talk shit. And it's basically because Rogan did Protect Our Parks with Shane, Norman, and Ari, and Lewis got jealous. And then he was like, we should fucking do this. And you're like, then let's do it. Who gives a shit? I'm just trying to promote my shows. I don't give a fuck.
Can I do my dates at the end?
Yeah. If I can do my dates at the end, I'll show up once a month.
How excited are you that The Rock is back?
I'm bummed about Cody, dude.
Are you?
I don't know.
You one of those guys?
Do? Is The Rock actually going to wrestle, or is this one?
I think so. I don't know, obviously, but I think so.
Last time he did it, he got injured real bad.
Big deal. But he finished the match. All he's got to do is do one match.
I mean, dude, I'm not going to lie. When he did where should The Rock eat? At the bar? At the head of the table? I was like, ah! Yeah. I mean, wrestling fans have been waiting for Rock Roman the whole time.
The whole time. It's what the whole thing's been based on.
Is that what's happening this time?
Yeah. Well, they brought him back and he referenced it. He also, where was he at where he was talking about they tried to do it on 39?
McAfee show.
Pat McAfee show.
Yeah.
He was like, we almost had something at 39.
And he doesn't do that stuff by mistake. Like that.
No.
That's not just like
his whole world is marketing.
Right. That wasn't an anecdotal story. Oh, have I ever told you? I was going to do it last year. We might do it this year. Like, wait, what did you just say?
Yeah. That's like, it's a manipulation technique that absolutely works on wrestling marks.
100%.
Yeah, good.
I've been talking about it like for months.
Oh boy. Yeah, it's great.
But then people are sad about Cody. Cody Rhodes is supposed to finish his story.
Let me ask you a real wrestling nerd question.
Okay.
When does Roman break Hogan's record of being the longest WWE champion?
The third longest. Hogan was the third longest.
I thought he has the record.
No, Bruno Sammartino's got like 8 years or something.
Oh, that's nuts. Yeah, back in the territory days.
Yeah,
they're
it's like,
hey, it's a Pollock versus an Italian. Who's going to win? That's all they used to do with wrestling. Look at this Irishman versus a black.
I mean,
whoa, big cat Ernie Ladd is going to fight a Protestant.
Yeah.
A Protestant versus an Italian.
That's what it was. And yeah, he held the title for 8 years.
He's second.
And then, I think he's also first. Okay, so we're
Fabulous Moolah.
We're talking about the WWE Championship.
All right, yeah. Well, the Fabulous Moolah. I mean,
She
looks like Jan Terry.
Yeah, she does. Skyrocket.
How you doing?
10,000 days.
Yeah, so Bruno's got the record, and then Bob Backlund, and then Hogan.
Backlund, wow.
Oh, so how long until Rogan. Joe Rogan goes, wow, I'm going to break that.
Yeah, it's entirely possible.
Wow, man, I never think about it like that.
1474, and how many did Backlund have?
Backlund's got a lot more than that. Like,
he's above him. 12. Backlund is 21.
It's like double almost.
So they're not going to let him break Backlund's record.
Breaking Backlund's record would be tough. Hogan's is the record, and if Roman held the title after WrestleMania and then through the summer, which means after SummerSlam.
I heard it's like August.
And then, no, it's September.
Okay.
Because they're doing Bash in Berlin at the end of August. So that would be the last pay-per-view.
And then, okay.
And then if he got past Bash in Berlin, then you could rest assured.
At Survivor Series.
By Survivor Series, he's got it. So September, he'll have it.
So that's when the belt will come off.
Mid-September, he'll have it.
Do you think they want Roman to break Hogan's record because of Hogan's fall from grace?
I think that there's a real push now to have the new guys having the records.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think they want the guys that are on TV now to have records.
Yeah.
That's why all these title runs are so long now.
So that's why I understand Cody getting shelved for WrestleMania 40.
Right.
Right. It's like because when you're going to do it, you want him to take the belt off.
Do you know how much I would love to see the reaction of people watching Cody lose again?
Oh yeah, yeah. You're a real
so
evil fuck.
disappointed. Yeah. So I think that's what it really is.
It's also why they made up that new title, because they're like, we got to change hands on this heavyweight title.
You guys can trade this one.
Yeah, Roman can't lose.
Roman
this
ain't
one.
losing.
It's always funny because we all know wrestling is predetermined.
What?
Real bumps, fake outcome.
Yeah.
But you know that they're like, well, we can't break this. It's funny when you know something's going to happen and they kind of act like, but it could happen.
It could
And you're
happen.
like, you're not, though.
No, we're not.
They're not going to take the title off Roman until he breaks Hogan's record, because Hogan has a couple unsavory phone calls that were aired.
They're great phone calls. Big piece.
He goes, brother, I don't know. If she married one of them 6'7", and you're like, damn, Hogan.
1474 for Hogan. How many for Roman?
He's at 12.
Today's 1221.
Oh, he's pretty close. Okay.
Yeah, that's what it'll be by the end of the year.
8.5 months.
September.
Okay.
Which Hogan phone call was worse? The N-bombs or the one where he said the Marine that got hurt in the car accident did something to make God mad? Oh. Do you remember that?
I remember. I enjoyed the N-bomb so much. I don't remember the other one.
Well, he has a hit before that.
Oh, he does.
Where his son,
On his first
was,
album?
Yeah, he's got a B-side that a lot of people don't know about. But his son was drag racing.
Yes.
With a friend who was a Marine who served, like in Iraq, I think, and his son got into a car accident. His son was fine, but his friend was like,
did he die or is he alive?
I don't know. I know he got really hurt, and then Hogan on the phone call to jail to his son goes, well, he did something to make God mad, brother. And you're like, Jesus.
Yeah, that was his Play That Funky Music, Vanilla Ice.
Dude,
that first hit that nobody really realized.
Yeah, you're like, oh my God, you really don't. Hogan, you can slam a giant, but a phone will take him down.
Yeah.
A recorded phone call gets Hogan every time.
I'll tell you what moves the immovable object.
Yeah. A little thing called a recorded phone conversation. Yeah, dude, that is Hogan at 1,400 days. It'll get past that.
Unless they have him lose right before he gets Hogan's record.
That's cruel. For everything that Roman's done, guy beat cancer to be your number one guy.
It's like, close.
There you go.
Not quite.
No. That's a Vince move. I don't know if Triple H will pull that.
That's true.
Vince would be like, you're a day short.
Yeah. Isn't that great?
Oh, I love it.
Oh, yes.
Step on my neck. Does he ever come around? You ever see Vince McMahon?
No. I mean, he's
Did you ever have a moment with him?
Yes.
Like a moment where you were scared?
I mean, any conversation with him is frightening.
My friend,
frighteningly intimidating.
My friend and comic Matt McCarthy used to write for the WWE, and he lived in Stamford. And he said, like, as a writer, you're not allowed to sneeze or cough around Vince McMahon.
He doesn't like that stuff.
He says that you should have more control of your body. Do you know how fucking stupid that is? Yeah. To be like, don't sneeze.
But he would also apparently get furious if he sneezed.
Oh, God damn it.
Exactly.
Ah, shit.
Yeah. Except he also loves scatological humor. So I believe that he'd actually be a big fan of yours, Jeff.
He probably would, yeah.
He goes, I love when you talk about shit.
There's actually a great story of him sharting his pants by mistake. And then, at a show. And then having to take the underwear off, and then putting the underwear on a stick and chasing Gerald Briscoe around with
funny.
it.
Yeah, I mean, that's
very
awesome.
funny.
Yeah.
That's never not awesome.
Very, very funny.
Very funny.
Also, Vince McMahon will always have my respect for when he slid in the ring and blew both of his quads
Immediately.
and still did the bit.
I've been doing it. I'm sitting down.
Sitting down. He was like, you over here. His legs are done.
Yeah.
And he's like trying to get up. He's like, no. He's like controlling it in the ring.
But he never broke.
Never broke,
His
dude.
quads did. His legs did.
There's
Didn't.
There's a reason the WWE is a $1 billion industry.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
because of Vince McMahon.
The show must
Yeah, here
go
it is.
on.
He runs down
Oh,
there.
it's the best. He's doing his power walk.
Yeah.
Because the finish had been legit botched.
I love when you find out Conor McGregor, that's his walk.
That's his walk. There he goes.
And,
Boom!
ah,
There they
they're
go.
down. You guys see that?
He broke both. He tore both his quads.
Wow, just
in
jumping like
moment.
that, huh?
Yeah. And now he's got to sit there.
I mean, he's in so much pain.
His Royal Rumble finish got botched, and now he's torn both his quads.
Wow.
And he's not crying. He's not
No.
sitting there being like, help.
As a matter of fact, not only is he not crying, he's not Vince. He's still Mr. McMahon.
I love it. Wait, Travis, do you have the phone call up? The Hogan?
This is like a compilation of them, so I got to go through it.
Oh, he's got a mixtape?
He's got a mixtape, yeah.
These are all Nick.
Of all of his hits on the phone? Dude, I just want to hear him go, he did something to God, brother. That is so wild. Your friend, your son's friend almost dies, and he goes, well, it's not your fault.
Yeah, God was mad at him.
That you were driving 160 on a windy road. It's God. God's mad at this soldier.
Not the best way to phrase it.
He really, God hates fags his son.
Yeah.
He goes, what are you, going to a soldier's funeral? You know, they push this gay agenda.
It's Jim and Sam's best of the year so far.
Breaking Bad wouldn't have been the same without Gustavo Fring, but Gustavo Fring wouldn't have been the same if I played him like a copy of Tony Soprano.
We'll be right back.
It's more than password, it's Password Plus.
The password is Bennington.
Noon to 2.
Lunch.
Faction talk.
Eddie Trunk.
Hilarious.
Bennington.
Yes!
Bennington, weekdays, noon to 2 in the East on Faction Talk and anytime on the SiriusXM app.
Hey, Kelly. I love your Kelly Clarkson Connection channel.
All right. Thank you so much for listening.
The mix is eclectic.
I love music, and I just want to celebrate all of it with you.
It's my favorite now.
Is it worth it? Let me work it.
It is perfect.
This is my heartbeat. The Kelly Clarkson Connection, y'all.
I freaking love your channel.
Oh my God.
Channel 12 and on the SiriusXM app.
Is arthritic joint pain keeping you from doing the things you love? Bone-on-bone pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulder? Listen, there are exciting new cellular therapies that can get you lasting relief. QC Kinetics is helping patients like you every day all over America. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in advanced regenerative medicine, cutting-edge treatments that accelerate your body's own healing properties, revitalizing your joints so you can move again. The patient satisfaction reports are astonishing, with over 35,000 and counting. If you're living with chronic pain from arthritis or injury, you need to know steroids and surgery and pain pills are no longer your only option. Learn how QC Kinetics can treat the pain, enhance your joints, restore your mobility, and give you long-term relief with no downtime. With over 150 clinics nationwide, QC Kinetics is ready to help you get your life back with regenerative, restorative, cellular treatments for your achy joints. Call for a free consultation now. 844-809-PAIN. 844-809-PAIN. 844-809-PAIN.
Every day, Bob wakes up at 5 a.m. He gives his kids a kiss on the forehead and heads to the office. As the owner of a small business, Bob, like many business owners today, worries not only about his own family, but his employees' families as well. These days, cash flow. Bob discovers Swish Funding. The small business Swish Funding help.
Yeah. Part of the problem with that is you see everyone focus on what you want instead of what others have, so you can start living your best life. I've gone to therapy on and off for years, and it's always helpful. It's not a quick fix. It doesn't cure you. It just shows you your own patterns. It teaches you how to ask questions of yourself and how to catch yourself doing things that are either envious or otherwise going to make you unhappy. If you're thinking of starting, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online. It's designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist. Switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Stop comparing and start focusing with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/Teft. That's TEFFT today, and you get 10% off your first month. Better, HELP.com/TEFFT.
If you like yacht rock, you're gonna love Yacht Soul. A new SiriusXM channel with the same smooth, but even more groove. Just the two. And all this week, smooth soul legend George Benson is your host. Turn your love around. Soulful and funky. Yacht Soul, year-round in a SiriusXM app.
Saturday is baseball night in America on Fox. The brightest stars and the biggest games take center stage. This week, Matt Olson leads the Braves against Manny Machado and the Padres. Or Carlos Correa and the Twins take on the Giants. Saturday at 7 Eastern on Fox. Check for the game in your area.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Everybody's on social media. Part of the problem with that is you see everyone else living this great life. You compare your insides to their outside, and you start feeling like, my life is not good. Comparison is the thief of joy, and it's easy to envy other people's lives. It might look like they have it all together on their Instagram, but they probably don't. Therapy can help you focus on what you want instead of what others have, so you can start living your best life. I've gone to therapy on and off for years, and it's always helpful. It's not a quick fix. It doesn't cure you. It just shows you your own patterns. It teaches you how to ask questions of yourself and how to catch yourself doing things that are either envious or otherwise going to make you unhappy. If you're thinking of starting, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online. It's designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist. Switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Stop comparing and start focusing with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/Teft. That's TEFFT today, and you get 10% off your first month. Better, HELP.com/TEFFT.
Small businesses are the engines that power our country. So why is it so hard for them to acquire business funding for things like expansion and cash flow? Meet Swish Funding, the business funding platform exclusively for small businesses. Whether it's $25,000 or even $2 million, our process takes just minutes with cash in less than 24 hours. You must be in business for at least 1 year with an average monthly revenue of at least $25,000 at swishfunding.com. Swishfunding.com.
Benjamin Franklin said, "Early to bed, early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise." Nice thought, but for many people, sleep doesn't come easy, which is why more and more people have discovered the importance of a bedtime routine to help prepare for sleep. Things like reading, taking a warm bath, and turning off all screens an hour before bedtime is crucial, as their blue light can suppress melatonin production and alter the circadian rhythm. Now, I may sound like a parent trying to give you advice, but this is just what I do every single day. It also helps to have an incredible luxury mattress. Sattva luxury mattresses are handcrafted to gently lull you to sleep. And because they're sold online, they cost a fraction of the price of retail. If you want to sleep better, make sure the bed is a Sattva. And right now, save $200 on $1,000 or more at sattva.com/TEFFT. That's SAATVA.com/TEFFT. This is a news article.
We are back.
Discover the inspiring journey of Nicky Norton, formerly known as Jim Norton.
With more Jim and Sam's best of the year so far.
Congratulations, Jim.
Thank you so much. Emma made me want to use my fucking dick pump again.
Okay.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah.
I threw a bunch of them out. I got to buy a new one. Got to buy a new dick pump.
Back off my friend.
No, they're good for your.
Hey, she's mine.
Oh, the friend zone.
Hey, back off my friend, dude. I'll take a friend like that.
100%. Yeah.
We fuck and there's no attachment or commitment. Although I do think the alien thing upset her because she keeps bringing it up.
Yeah.
Wait, were you getting? Did you see a bunch of texts from her?
Mm-hmm.
Well, anybody that likes being called princess and queen and likes humiliating people does not like having her text go unread.
And she's not used to being stood up.
Yeah. Well, she ain't deal with this fella.
My man.
Yeah.
How many hours late were you?
I mean, we were supposed. Here's the thing, too. She was like fucking hammered, and I'm getting texts and like phone calls at like 6 a.m. Like, whoa, and, like videos, and so I did wake up around like 1 or whatever, and the movie was at 3, and I didn't think I had a text from her, and I just saw like a barrage of like these crazy videos, and I'm like, well, I guess we're not going to the movies today. So I went back to sleep because I stayed up. I had like a late spot at the Cellar, and then I just like stuck around.
What time did you sleep until? After 1?
Man, I think like 4:30. I need, my sleep is so fucked. I sleep in shifts, and so I take 1 day a week usually to just completely recharge and everything. And I was like, yeah, I guess we're not going. And then like, you know, I woke up to a phone call from her, and I was like, oh fuck. I was like, yeah, I just woke up, and you know, what? It happens.
Did you guys at least go out? Did you guys go out after that? At least go out to eat?
No, I went out with a different gal.
My man.
What up?
Hey,
it's
man.
the year of Ian.
That's right.
All hail the queen.
You can't help that you're charming.
I know.
That's not your fault.
Thank you.
Do you think you would have gotten? Thrown out of the movie theater?
Oh, because of.
Do you think? Oh, she was drunk at that hour.
Well, that's the thing too. When I contacted her, she was like, "I'm at brunch." And I was like, "Oh shit, we can't even go to a later movie." Because I was like, "Look, we missed a 3. Why don't we go to the 6?" And that was like out the window.
Why was it out the window?
Because she was fucking hammered
Oh,
at brunch with
Yeah.
a bunch of friends.
Every now and then, it's not bad being unavailable. You know what I
Every
mean?
once in a while, it's
kind
not
of
bad.
cool. Kind of cool move. Sorry.
Yeah, you wreck it when you fart though. When she walks
that's-
in the room.
You don't want to
Oh,
fart.
I mean, yeah, I love
You
how
don't
I'm
wanna
like,
fart.
she was really upset about Alien. I think that put me into friend zone. And it's like, no, she walked into a waft of the most horrific smell.
They both said, her and Lainey both said, "Oh, it stinks so bad in here."
Did you notice it when you walked in, Troy?
It was terrible.
I know. Yeah, I don't hide it. I know.
Good for you.
I'm aware.
Yeah.
You know? But like I said, that's a great fucking friendship, you know?
Yes, it is. It's
Right.
perfect.
But yeah, I forget what we were saying, but I do think we might have. I really want to see Alien, and I think if we were going and there weren't a lot of people in the theater, some things would have happened.
And you would have missed
So-
the movie.
Yes.
So you would have regretted
Exactly.
that.
Yes.
Well,
you
I'm
could just
sure
go
if I'm-
see it
If
again.
I'm eating her ass, I could manipulate so that I can see the screen. That would be awesome.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, I would love that.
Yeah.
Just fucking suck a cock and eat an ass while I'm watching Alien. That'd be
You
the
like to do
best.
that?
Yeah, why not? You
That's
know?
cool.
Yeah. I mean, I've never watched it upside down, but I'll try.
Sam, what do you think?
That sounds like a good idea. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to go see Alien?
Do you think Sam is attractive?
Not at all. No, not my type.
Man, what a bummer.
No one in here is.
Yeah.
If we were in the Shade 104.5 studio, that'd be a different
How about
story.
Troy? Troy's a handsome guy.
No, I'm not into anyone I've ever been friends with. I could not.
I get
ever
that.
be
I can think of
attracted.
one friend that you're
absolutely get
into.
that.
Wow.
I mean, she's just in here.
Yeah, that's a different type of friendship.
I totally understand what he's saying too.
Yeah.
But Troy's a handsome guy.
I'm not denying handsome, but you're not my type.
You wouldn't date Travis?
I've tried to hook up with a guy with a beard, and it just did not.
Travis
work.
has a very hairy ass.
Oh.
You
It's gotta,
wouldn't
you gotta
perform
be like a
analingus on him?
dolphin. You gotta be like a dolphin.
Then I guess I'm not for you.
I had an Italian guy come over to a hotel room once, and he was trying to blow me, and I couldn't get hard. I go, "Look, man, this isn't going to work." And he goes, "Okay, so sorry." And then he just got up and left.
Oh,
Yeah.
By the way, of all the people that we've had in this studio, even just today, Jim's idea for a bit is, let's see who on the staff Ian Fidance is most attracted to. I don't think too many, and this is no offense to you, I don't think too many of us are broken up that you're not into us.
No, but I just like
That's
the
what
idea.
someone would say that's hurt.
That's right. You know what? It was
You think I'm
good. I didn't like you
Yeah.
either.
You think I'm casting out?
You're not my type.
Yeah, good. Sam is hurt. Sam's bothered.
I was interested to hear what the answer was.
Oh, you are?
Yes.
I mean,
Don't
look,
speak
if,
for
do you
us.
want like a legit answer?
Troy wants to know that in a pinch, if he had to.
All right.
Montone.
Oh, I actually forgot Montone.
Hey, how about it? Thank you, Ian.
You're welcome.
Sam's
You're welcome.
projecting his own feelings.
No, you're right.
On all of us.
Everybody, well, since you guys are so interested, can you rank
Yes.
everybody in this room on levels of who you're most attracted to least attracted
To least,
to?
yes.
Everybody
Physically
in here.
or personality?
I'd say
Are we
altogether.
talking?
All-
Are we
yeah,
talking?
you know us all now.
Are we
so-
talking one night stand? Are we talking dating? Are we talking long term
Good question,
marriage?
Sam.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what are you looking for?
I think.
Yeah, Sam.
I think just
What do you
raw,
keep finding,
to
wanting
know
answers to?
Raw sexuality.
raw sex, just a physical,
raw
just
sensuality.
a one, a tryst.
Tris.
Yeah, a tryst. One night.
One night.
One night in finance.
One night in finance.
Huh.
That's what everybody wants to know.
Good question, Sam. Good
I'm trying to think, and honestly, you think I had
We ask all the comics.
stomach problems before? My stomach is turning right now
Yeah.
thinking about this answer.
I understand.
It is.
It's all everywhere. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5. Okay, so
I
Break it
mean,
down.
can I
Give us your thought
most
process.
from most to least.
can I buy a rope and rent a chair? This is fucking terrible.
No, whoever's
Ian
number
was-
one will do it.
So what are we starting at? Most attractive.
Most.
See, I've never.
No, you start at least.
I can. Can we
Least.
use the term handsome? Because I like handsome more than attractive. Because I'm truly never been attracted to a friend. I've never thought a friend is hot.
Yep.
But I can admit, oh yeah, he's a attractive. Like
have
he's
none
like
here,
a
so-
handsome fella. This is a tough lineup, fellas.
Who would you want to have sex with? If
you
you have to have sex.
Troy, you don't have to
No,
put
no,
it
no,
so
no, no.
bluntly.
Troy wants to. That's the question, though.
Yeah.
Montone obviously is in the Rolodex.
Yeah.
Montone
It's
is
a
already in the
toss-up between Montone and Troy.
Okay.
Well, no, you have
Clearly, I mean, you all have
clearly
eyes.
said Montone.
Sure.
Yeah.
No one's offended. Believe
Yeah.
me.
Nobody's.
You're not gonna hurt any feelings.
We'll all survive.
No feelings will be hurt.
Although, for like long-term
think
love
he's trying to spare us?
relationship,
Okay, how about long-term love relationships rank?
I don't know. See, me and Troy have the same love of the type of music, and
Tattoos.
I'm sure tattoos.
Just being
I'm
cool
sure, yeah, and like the yoga thing. You
Troy's
would,
really
you would
politics,
inspire
man.
me, you know, to get in shape.
Yeah.
I see you losing weight. I'm like, why? I don't want this guy looking at other guys. I'll get rid of my belly, Troy.
Sure.
You know.
And you're looking good. By
Yeah.
the way.
Thank you. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
You know, I'm going to tell you something, Jim. Troy is
the only one in
getting
here with a full head of hair.
Wait.
But there's also Troy is a good-looking guy and used to women liking him. So he's at this point now where, like, if somebody's talking about fucking, he wants to be high on the list.
No, but he's also
And I think
he's also realized that Ian was talking first. Ian was just talking about a one-night stand,
Sure.
and then he was talking about a serious relationship. And Troy's realized that he is at the top of both of those lists.
Yes.
Interesting.
He is Montone is number
No,
one.
no, no.
Montone
was top of physical,
for
but
one night in finance.
One
that
night in
would be-
finance.
yeah.
But Troy was still mentioned with Montone, and also the only one mentioned in the dating
Relationship,
marriage.
I think Troy would be the coolest with me being like, I'm going to step out with a chick. You all right with that, bro?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he'd want to do it too.
Yeah. Yep.
He wouldn't care.
You're
He
cool.
might say something
You're
like,
so cool.
Let me,
Yeah, thanks, dude.
like maybe before he left, you might say, hey, why don't you let me just get take a quick draft off of that.
A quick toot.
Let me get dragged before you go.
Sam, you see what you did?
Quick.
I didn't do this. I didn't start this.
Pushed. You needed to know.
Well, you guys, you guys got on my case because I said nobody wants to.
Now they're just imaginary tooting on each other before they leave.
Troy is questioning a lot of things right now.
I don't think he's questioning anything.
No, I think he already knew.
knows.
I think
He's
he
got
already
the
knew the answers.
Ian's an awesome dude.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Dude, we had so much fun when we saw the Beastie Boys
Yeah.
unveiling.
This is where it gets real.
Yeah. It's like
but seriously.
We should hang out again
the
sometime.
good times.
Yeah,
that,
I'm
you
down.
know.
I mean, I know we joke around the group text, but we can have a side chat.
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
It doesn't always have to be in a group chat.
Yeah, no. I
Yeah.
mean, the more isn't always the merrier.
Yeah. You ever see the ancient Greeks, the way they would wrestle?
They would. They'd start wrestling just a little touch,
Yeah,
a little touch
men.
here, a little touch
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
There is something hot about that has been happening with girls lately. No, not. I'm off that.
We didn't get an answer.
Yeah,
We
no
didn't go
answer.
around the room.
No, like
Yeah, we didn't get the full ranking.
like the wrestling type, like flirting thing of like. But that was also kind of hot when I was.
The fuck's he talking about?
He's just saying words.
Girls wrestle with you?
No, but wrestling, he's talking about you, Sam.
Oh, nice.
Wrestling, flirting.
Yeah. Yeah, like
Men
who do you got
spandex.
off the turnbuckle, Sam?
That's a good reference.
Yeah.
So cool.
I think least attractive, and this isn't a knock. I'm not doing a bit. I'm sorry, Sam.
Somehow.
Although,
I know. Somehow I'm going to have to get through this.
although hobby, long term, getting along, movie watches, Sam.
Sam would be fun.
Yeah.
Sam would
But then
be fun.
Jim would be my concert guy. You would be so fun to just laugh with and have fun.
Yes.
Deep combos into the night.
Absolutely. We don't need to have sex. We could just be
No.
like that type of
Yes.
a loving relationship with no physical
Yes.
element to it.
I'll massage your feet.
I wouldn't like that at all, actually.
What's your favorite Kiss song?
Okay, so you have I like this because we're going. It's more of a positive thing. That's why I like you.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because you're more of a positive guy. So
Yeah.
Mike is kind of the raw sexuality. Troy is the marriage
Yeah.
material. We're just funning around.
We're both on a date with our respective female partners, and we make eyes, and we both decide to go to the bathroom at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me and you are just funning running around.
Yeah.
You and Jim are having the deep convos.
Yes.
So we know who ranks the absolute bottom of the barrel.
Oh,
What the hell?
I mean,
Not good
nothing.
for anything.
Good
Not
for
a
nothing.
goddamn thing.
Not
for
good for
nothing.
anything.
if I'm in the mood for,
shut up.
sounds
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah, right.
Sounds. What the hell are you talking
And
about?
then, when you're hanging out with any of your other good friends, if you need somebody to Google something.
Yeah. Or you're gonna,
Always
or he'll be in bed all limp, and you're gonna go. You can't produce a radio show or an erection.
Just
Do
completely
you call your dick
forgotten
Sirius
about it.
XM because it's not working?
Yeah. I guess maybe if you're just in the mood to bully someone, you could.
Yeah, if I develop like a big like dom kink or something, and I need like a little like boy slave, you know?
But you're not good at that because you wind up bailing him out anyway, like you did with the other guy.
I know.
You're a valuable person. The
Yeah.
guy's like, well, wait, was this all in text or in person?
On Grindr.
Oh,
Yeah,
it wasn't
through
in.
text.
Oh, because he goes, I'm not going to talk to you. You took me out of it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Why
I
would
was
you say it
saying,
through
like,
text?
I don't know, man. I felt really bad about just being mean to this guy.
What did you say to him
Not
that
your
was
thing.
mean?
I forget. It was a while ago. I just remember he was like really cute, and then I was like, oh fuck. But then that's not me. I'm not like a mean.
Yeah.
Unless you wrong me, and then I have like I see red to the point of like it gets me in trouble. But I couldn't. I felt bad being mean.
Yeah.
It's news to me.
You know?
Oh, wow, he's offended.
Sure he is.
He's offended because
Now,
he's bottom of
He's
the
the guy
barrel.
Travis was talking to.
I didn't
Yeah.
finish.
I'm the shit left over.
I didn't finish.
You kind of did.
Yeah,
No.
no, you're done.
You
No.
finished all over him.
It's
Yeah,
called
you did.
it's called letting it breathe for the jokes.
Yeah,
Okay? I was just
yeah.
giving some breathing room.
That's
I
it.
understand.
You're
And,
professional.
And, you know, thank you.
Yes.
You don't want
you
to
know.
pin him down. He'd say, "Oh, fuck me like a silverfish."
Oh, not as. Because the physical.
Silverfish? What the fuck does that mean?
He looks like one.
You ever see a silverfish?
Just skinny,
Can
all
you
the
pop one
tentacly.
on that?
Can we show him a silverfish?
So-
Wait,
Silverfish.
is that
Nobody
the,
likes
is that the
them.
bad guy from Monsters Inc?
No.
But it's not dissimilar.
No.
It's not dissimilar. I see where you're going. Yeah. It's not. You're not.
No. I want to see a silverfish, not a picture of Travis. Whoa, Travis. Whoa.
You said silver chair? I look like that. No, silver fish.
That silverfish looks like it like scowl.
They are ugly, aren't they?
Yeah. Not only, but the thing about silverfish is they're really ugly, but the worst part about them is their tone and their attitude.
Yes.
Well, you know, look, I know myself, and I know I'm not meant for longevity with one partner.
Nice.
I feel I can share myself for a while, but I cannot be tamed. I'm a rambling man, and I am going to move on.
Good for you.
And I feel like, you know, that little rat in the corner would be a nice thing to hop onto in the second phase and third act of my life.
Oh,
yeah.
I like that.
You know?
Yeah.
You
Just
could
poke
grow
your
old
shitter
with
while
him.
he's nibbling some cheese.
Now you're going back to the rodent thing.
Yeah, I would love after these little
Doesn't seem
trysts
like comparisons.
That's not nice.
with my other friends. Once those trysts end, I
Right.
would love to catch you in a rat trap.
I'll just wait around.
His feet are glued to the bottom. He's
Yeah.
not going anywhere.
Well, that thing snaps and breaks his neck and his ass is up in the air. And you're like, "Ah, what the hey?"
Hey.
I guess now we know.
My little pizza rat. No, that'd be a fun second act.
Are you,
know?
be honest, are you surprised?
No.
You hurt?
Yeah.
A little hurt. A little hurt.
I'm not surprised. It's typical Ian.
Oh, come on.
Wow. Typical Ian.
Yeah, I was joking. That cuts deep.
He's just being Friday.
Poor Travis.
Poor Travis.
He's
I got
hurting.
financed.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
You did.
He's hurting. He's
Let me
hurting.
make it up to you.
No.
Especially because, like, you guys, Ian and Travis, always talk about music together.
We
but the
do.
first thing he said was, my music buddy is 100% Troy.
Then he said I would go to
Remember?
concerts with Jim. Jim doesn't go to concerts.
I don't
Jim's
go to
miserable
concerts.
at concerts.
Miserable.
Have I got
I would go see Kiss with somebody or Sabbath, but
Jim's
I
like
wouldn't talk.
he's not a fun guy at all.
I don't like Kiss.
I'm very fun.
Have I gotten this all wrong?
No, you're probably right. I'm not.
Have I gotten this all wrong?
Deep conversations, he's right.
Yeah, I'm a good
But like the-
conversationalist.
But like
Jim
the,
is fun.
Let's go out
I
and have
love a good giggle with Jim.
yeah,
Jim's good for a giggle.
Love a good giggle.
teasing people, there's nobody better.
Loving the
Yeah, if
tease.
there's somebody, if we see a disabled person, and we're like,
Yes.
who do I attack that person with?
People
I'm your
watching
guy.
with Jim would be incredible.
Incredible.
And that's
Incredible.
a big thing I like.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know? And that would be... He and I are the type of guys that could just have a fun day at the park.
Yeah, we just watch people
100%.
walk by and
Yes.
play MS or drunk.
You like that game?
I play that at the cellar.
Oh man, just another thing that somebody who's not Travis would fill. Like all of us could fill your life except
I just feel
Travis.
like with Travis, we would have fun talking about music, but I feel like I already have enough back pain, and having to carry the relationship would really hurt me.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. You could drag him through a great conversation.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. Which is a compliment, Travis.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
I think.
You should think about that a little more.
Oh, okay.
I just would be insecure because I know,
Oh,
you
Ian,
know.
stop trying to justify it.
No, I just know that, you know, you would never love me the way you love Disney. And I just feel like
I love my wife the way I love Disney.
I would be wanting to spend time with you. Hey, I got a weekend off the road, and you say, well, I'm going to Disney. Mickey Mouse is wearing different ears for the 22nd anniversary.
like
of,
something I would
It would be exciting.
They changed
Oh, yeah.
trash cans at the Magic Kingdom. We have to go document that.
But the good thing would be if you ever wanted to get blown, you could just walk in with those mouse ears on. What do you put it in your mouth, little buddy? Why don't you get down here and toot on it? Blow into the magic whistle.
Magical. I don't know if Jim's Disney IQ is what he makes it out to be.
Ah, you know, I don't know.
about the magic whistle.
Yeah, magic whistle.
Well, I guess we know now.
Is that what it is that puts Travis in that category? Is it the Disney adult thing?
It doesn't help, right?
It doesn't help.
It's
You
not.
can't- that's
It's
not
not a
sexy.
selling point.
Right.
You know.
I mean,
I guess I got to work on myself.
I get it.
I mean, we could share clothes. That would be a good part of the because he wears the hoodies and
He wears a schmedium,
shirts I
though.
like. I'm a schmedium.
You're like a built guy. You got it. You know what I mean?
I like to show off a little.
Right. Oh, you like him tight. You like a nice tight. Okay.
You don't mind a snug. He's in
snug
decent
fit.
shape. He's
A snug fit.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Shout out to my gym pals.
Shout out to them. Why you mean sensual?
Yeah.
This kind of got me in a mood.
It's so gross.
See, you wouldn't date me anyway.
No, I would.
Yeah, he would. He's pretend. Oh, yuck.
Oh, that's so gross. You should come over and do more podcasts.
Yeah. He said it's gross until he's got his nose buried between your scrotum and where your thigh meets your
It's
leg.
just, why does it always have to go like totally literal? It's just nothing gets left to the imagination. You just have to.
Smoke my whistle. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy, come in with gloves.
Yeah. Hey, Goofy.
Suffering succotash, you came in my ass.
It's not even Disney, is it?
No,
Travis?
I don't even know
it's
what
not
that
Disney.
is.
Beep, beep,
That's
beep,
Looney
beep, beep, beep.
Tunes.
Let me swallow your cum, folks.
That would take me way out of it.
Yeah, that's Porky Pig. Yeah,
You're like you're mixing universes.
it's a Six Flags property.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's all the poppers.
Well, that was hot.
Yeah.
Did you? Now, did you see the new Ghostbusters?
3 times.
You loved it. Because
Loved
people
it.
are saying it's not. It's whatever.
Who's in it?
People.
But such some people, they were like, well, it's kind of they're past the nostalgia trip. So for
Yeah. Who's in it? Is it the same cast?
yeah, but they're doing a smart thing. It's kind of like what Scream was doing, which is like using the OGs to kind of complement and lift up the new
And
cast.
while
and the new
phasing
cast.
themselves out.
Yeah,
it's like
phasing
getting a
out some of
dog while your dog is dying.
That's right. The dog goes like, "What's this puppy doing here?" And, no,
Yeah.
it's just
don't worry about it.
I want 2 dogs. That's all.
Yeah.
It's not replied. Not naming it the same name as you.
Yeah.
I like it. My one complaint is that I wish they had more interactions and busing ghosts throughout the city. Although they did at the library, but with the whole team, because they really only had the one in the beginning and then the library. But the storyline was
Not enough
great.
busting, you're saying?
Not enough busting because busting makes me feel good.
I gotcha.
They had great characters. Everyone they introduced had a purpose. I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought it was fun. I loved how they showed the mundanity of the firehouse.
Was Aykroyd in it?
Yes. I think no bullshit. I think he should win an Oscar for supporting actor. Shut the
I don't
fuck
see
up,
that
Travis.
happen.
I'm
Ooh.
sorry I rejected you, but you don't have to question me.
That is a good point.
Good for you, Ian.
Thank you.
He's trying to neg you.
Yeah.
Have you seen the film, Travis?
I haven't seen it, but
There
I can't
you
imagine.
go.
Can't imagine
Interesting.
Dan Aykroyd is going to be up for any Oscars.
don't think so?
for
Remember I
Ghost.
told you about Silverfish's tones?
Yeah.
Yeah, he really just said it like you're a goddamn fool to have thought of it.
It was like, is it yeah. It was like, it was not that he just asked what? Like, could you
Yeah.
repeat yourself? It
Incredulous.
was like, oh, I didn't realize we had fucking idiots in studio today.
Yeah.
Billy Murray in it.
Yes, the original cast is in it. We've been through it.
He's fantastic. But back to my point about Dan Aykroyd
Oscar-worthy?
before some
Harold
fuck
Ramis?
You see how he
interrupted
said
me.
it? He said Oscar worthy?
Bro,
What are you, a total
watch it
moron?
And look at the
I will. I
emotion
can't wait to
in
see.
his
I can't wait
face.
to
How about Harold Ramis?
He's dead.
It's on,
And it's
dude.
Ramis.
Stop with the
Yeah.
just terrible additions to the conversation.
Don't go anywhere.
I have a weak chin.
You do. And I should have thought of that before I brought it up. Yep. Because I know that.
I do.
I see it every day.
I understand.
We'll be back with more Jim and Sam's Best of the Year so far.
The Bonfire with Big J. Okerson and Robert Kelly.
It's not that I don't want to get married, it's that Jay doesn't want to get married.
If something happens to him, you get nothing except a
Nothing.
dog.
Look at her watch. Look at her necklace.
God forbid something happens to you. Who does it go to?
My sweet little daughter.
And
My Empire. My PlayStation 5, a couple hoodies.
a PlayStation 5 and a couple cool